Yo, what's up, guys? How we all doing tonight? Ah! All right. You gotta start with a little yelling. Classy me. Hello, Lexi, Kappa. It's your name. What's up, Nay? Welcome back. Of course, the old lady's here. Ah, yes, dude. All right. WDP. WSP. Ooh. I don't know what you're trying to say. Dude, you know the worst thing is when I get texts from people and they everyone uses the abbreviation and you just don't want to have to search up or like ask them what the abbreviation is. It's the amount of times I've gone and searched up, yeah, what does this abbreviation stand for? So embarrassing, dude. My phone must be broken because it doesn't seem yo! You're smooth. You're smooth. You're really smooth. Lay with the, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but my phone must be broken. It doesn't seem to have your number in it. I'm expecting like, I'm not getting audio on your stream or I can't get the visuals. Nah, I'm just getting raised up. Let's see what's going on here. All right. God damn. Hi, Yessie. Hello, hello. Did I just hear you call someone an old lady? Oh, yeah. I call Yessie an old lady. She's gonna call me an old man. Did you just see what I just pulled out of my ass? Anyone see that? No? Yeah, never mind. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Things are just finding their way into the cracks of my chair. Which is weird when I probably pull it out. Either way. Hello, hello. How's everyone's week going? It is currently a Tuesday, so we've only, had our one Monday day. But Tuesdays are always nicer than Mondays, obviously. I think everyone just hates Mondays a little bit. I'm not even a big fan of Mondays, and I don't have a, 9 to 5. So, I don't know. Maybe it's innate. It's built into us. I love Tuesdays, though. For some reason, I've always loved Tuesdays. I just realized how cool of a room you have. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a vibe. I'm very happy with how much work I put into it and how it turned out. Nice. Just more proud of the big Lego pieces like that bad boy. My Saturn V. Oh, yeah, it's so good. And then also I've got the Apollo lander. It's supposed to be the Apollo 11 lander, but what makes a difference, really? And then the Apollo 11 lander came up on that bad boy right in there. Right at, there. That zone. Yay. Which there is like a miniaturized one that's right here to scale. That is this bad boy. Scale of that, but it's not proper scale. It'd actually be a little small, I think. Slightly. Where is your black cat named Toothless? Dude, what the fuck, man? Why? What the fuck? My cat got eaten. We already know about this. We've talked about this. This was a year ago. Thank you for mentioning my cat, dude. My cat got eaten by a coyote. It was wrenching? Heart-wrenching? I don't know. Doesn't sound right, but it feels right. Damn you for bringing up my cat. I love Toothless. I miss that poor little cat, dude. Best thing ever. But Spoob is great. Spoob is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that's why we have Spoob, actually. This Toothless is gone. Listen, though. I may be Batman, but you're still robbing my heart. Ah! I fucking love this! Don't you dare stop. All night. I want more. Give me more. Can we just make this like the Riz factory? Can y'all just keep throwing Riz at me and we'll just see what works, all right? There'll be a winner. My cousin has a cat named Pumpkin. Goes wild over pumpkins. Really? That's sick, dude. Is that making it the cannibal though or something? I swear, I've said this on lives before. I think cat names are great because you have dog names and everyone's like, oh, it's Max, it's Toby, it's, got a human name. And then we're like, oh, here's my cat, Dumpster Fire. And you're like, yeah. It sounds like a bad rock band name. Like all of them, they're so good. I still want one and I want to name it Egg. but now we have Spoon. So Spoon and Egg kind of works. Soup also is a good name for a cat. Soup. And then you can have Spoon and Soup and Soup and Spoon. Yeah. Kappa, welcome in. How you doing? Do you know the difference between history and you? History's in the past, and you are my future. Ah! That's wow. Where the did you get that one? That was so good. That one was so good. You know those nights you can put up a fuck, I don't even know what game it is, but it's like you have a comedy show and then everyone can join in and you can just go up on stage and say whatever you want. It's your little character. You should do that, but just for Rizzes only. Quote from Restock Ins from 2020 Humans. It was good. You should try it. What is Restock Ins from 2020 Humans? What is? I'm so confused. Hey Reese, how you doing? Welcome back. How's everyone's night going? Or I guess day. How'd your day go? The twins wish to say you hi? Wish to say hi to you on Discord? Discord? Are they trying to message me? Or are they just trying to say hello? Hello. Say hello for me, that's for sure. I love the name Midnight for a cat. Okay, so I wanted to steal some cat names from Paige, actually. She was like, oh, I've got these great cat names. Because we were talking about how cats get like fun names. And now I'm gonna steal them. And number one, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't say, you guys will steal it too. But they're space related, so they're freaking sick. Like I like this one. This one's actually my top favorite right now. Besides Egg, because Egg is needed. Dipper. I think Dipper is a great name for a cat, dude. And it's like the Big Dipper, so you got little space, little cosmos in there. Actually, Cosmos would be a good name for a cat. But yeah, Midnight's funky because you could hit that with a dark cat easy. Don't please, dude. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Okay, my boy, my homie, my home slice, my absolute broski. He's got a cat. He's got a dog. He's got a dog that is pure black. Pure black. Okay. Snow. Why? Like, you know the color of snow? It's usually white. There's yellow, and that one tastes a little different, but don't name your black dog Snow. And then I was like, why? And he's like, oh, he has like 3 little pieces of hair on his chest that are white. The fuck? So you couldn't, you mean like name him Snowflake? That's as much white as he's got on him. Bro, I don't understand. Are you French? Because I fell for you. Très bien. I literally have my own title on the streams Discord. It's literally Riz God. Y'all remember when Reese twerked like a white girl? I still do twerk like a white girl. Actually, I twerk like the best kind of white girl ever. Ready? I'll give you just a taste, then you can go sign up for my OF. Ready? Amazing. That was like this, just a little wiggle, you know? Imagine that, but like 30% more. And then that would be like 30% more. Crazy. You just imagined it. Gross. Are you my inhaler? Because I can't breathe without you. Damn. Are you my asthma? Because you're taking my breath away. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right. So, kind of what I have left open is the choice of for you guys, really. I was playing a little CS, having my fun. That's what I like to do personally, right? We can always jump around the games that I like, but I want to know, is there a game that you guys would like very much love to see tonight? Is there something that you'd much prefer over any game? Or does it really matter? Maybe you're just here for the vibes, the fun, the goofs, the racing, and the jokes, but up to you. kind of want to put it in your hands. And if there's no suggestions, I'm just gonna play what I want to play. We're all gonna goof around. Motherfucker. Immediately, I got that putt party. Golf. You know what we need to find? Maybe you guys can help me right now, chat. Maybe you guys can help me. I bought a game, but this is for the Halloween times. I bought Dying Light. I bought $300 for the Dying Light. It was $10, chat. $10 for all the DLC. Oh, look at my other boy. I just bought them all. 28 items that came in this. Bing bong, bing, 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 bing. Bing bong, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, right? That was bing bong backwards, just because you're wondering. We didn't leak anything. We're good. I'm always going to be stressed out now over this kind of stuff. They need a mini golf that's actually fun. Holy crap, mini golf down to $1. That looks so bad. So they have mini golf with power-ups, which I don't think even exists outside Putt Party. And also collision with friends. But then it all's got to be under a decent price so I can get everybody to do it. You see? What Nay said. What did Nay say? Roblox? Oh, you fuckers. I guess we're going to probably play a little bit of Roblox today. Yep. Oh, I got this game. I just never even got to try it. And it's the Walkabout mini golf. It was like the best mini golf of VR. It's come out still. Pretty sure. I thought that's going to be actually so much fun. I really got to get that VR set up. But obviously I'm streaming on my VR right now. So my VR PC. Oh, it's so good. That looks fun. That looks hella sick. And then you go to space? Oh. Yeah, space mini golf sounds sick, dude. Timberborn, Roblox, golf, and then a second vote on Roblox. It's really what you guys want, huh? Okay. All right. Can always check it out. Let me put a little. Whoa, I'm not even logged in. I straight up just guessed. I got my password. Hell yeah, brother. Ain't no way, dude. Ultimate Factory Tycoon. Tycoon. It's because I play this one game, chat. This one game, which is now broken, doesn't work at all. Very disappointing. Called Mining Tycoon. This game was what got me addicted to Roblox. Everything about this was amazing. I loved this game. You'd mine a hole in a wall, put everything on a conveyor belt. The conveyor belt would put it in your truck. You'd have to drive your truck to the dump off area and then dump it all into the cash, cash all your stuff into money. So sick. Are you part phone charger? Because I'm dying without you. Oh, sheesh. Yeah. I can't even come up with anything right now. No, I got nothing. That's how I actually talk to girls. Very good. Sure, I've got sound from everything. Human soup is good. You should try it. Play Bloxburg? I don't know about that one. I'm waiting for that Rec Room game. Oh no. Yeah, I hate it's so annoying. You got it right when I was just like hopping out. B-Sim is amazing. Do not play this game. B-Swarm? But why? Wait, what? Why? All servers are down? Oh man, I spent money on this game. Okay, I don't think I can play that game anymore. There's a few games that I just can't touch now. So it was like Brooke and I played them together. And like, that's why I played them. You know? There's a lot of games in there that I've... Dude, I can't even touch Minecraft right now. Can't even. It wasn't the Minecraft that made it fun, you know? That's why I haven't actually touched Roblox for a hot minute either. Dude, why does this straight up look like a phone game, bro? This looks like a phone game. Holy! We got Stardew in Roblox? Are you good at algebra? Because you could replace my ex without asking why. Oh! Fuck! Me, god damn! Yo, Nate, I'm just gonna... What? You said this twice, so it better make sense, alright? You said something. I don't eat human soup. I eat wa, which is pancakes. Chat, please tell me someone understands what that meant. Because she put it twice. Maybe I just don't get the new lingo. Maybe that's what's going on, man. I feel like I just don't understand. Man, all these games are starting to look the same nowadays, though. But I want a good Tycoon game. Okay, hear me out. Tycoon game. Oh, Phantom Force is so good, though. Frontlines looks like a new version of the same thing. Phantom Force is actually amazing. That's what got me into Roblox a couple years ago. I first played for that mining tycoon. Then I played for that game. And then I played because I fucking love painting. I love doing those paintings, Chad. Those are so much fun. You know what I'm talking about? Lumber Tycoon is also kind of fun. The Mimic. Dude, have you heard... Okay, this doesn't want to go full screen. That's fine. It's like almost creepy, and then the big square hand stick back in. Ooh, that sounds horrible. We're running this right now. We're absolutely running this. You kidding me, chat? You kidding me? No, you said it a long time ago on my Instagram. Human soup. I eat a wa, which is pancake. No clue says yesy still. If you look at my Instagram, I have an edit of you saying it a long ways away ago when you were live on TikTok. Long ways away ago. I'm gonna tease you forever. I'm just here to tease you, dude. Can I get this to work, please? Hello, Robux? Please? No! Okay, Robux. That's fine. I'm not spaghetti. Yeah, a little bit, actually, but it's alright. The game actually looked hella creepy. Doors is like a thing everybody was into, hey? What is this? Oh, World War. D-Day reenactment ones. Definitely done some of those. Oh, yo, what is this actually kind of sick? Yeah. Yeah, let's do this shiz. Always allow this. Yeah, I guess. But that doesn't bite me in the ass later. I need you to screenshot that and say. Oh, no. Okay, hold up. Hold up, chat. Wait a minute. I think I know what we can do. And it might be that I'm just using Opera GX, which I love my Opera GX. Don't get me wrong. Everyone should love Opera GX. Download now for free. I'm not sponsored. Don't actually do it. And then let's see. See, I make annoying noises when I'm just trying to think. I apologize, chat. Close your eyes, and what do you see? That is my life without you. Deep breaths, Reese. Come on, deep breaths. You go. You can make it through this. You can make it. It's all good. Okay, let's try this out again. Now using Chrome. I'm feeling this is why this will work. Yeah. What? Try again. Maybe this is just not the way. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe this is not the way. It's not the way. Build and survive. It's Minecraft. Oh. Oh. The Lost Island, Mount Everest roleplay. Are you kidding me? Yeah, dude. Oh, wait, shoot. Yes. Did it work? Yeah, dude. I have a feeling this just isn't working. So, can I get second options, chat? Oh, no. Are you the bottom of my laptop? Because you are hot. God damn. Alienware, I'm hearing. All right. Actually, my MacBook would heat up like crazy. I always wanted to get the like, it was also whatever MacBook I got. I remember like doing my research, making sure to get which one would be the best, and thinking like, is it worth it? Just boosting yourself a little more. That's fucking brutal. Let's see if this works. And boosting and getting the better one, and then the problem was like they made it smaller, and then the heating was worse. People were like, yeah, I mean, it works faster, but it lasts like fucking half the time. Okay, this is not working. Roblox is out, chat. Roblox is out. I don't know. My account's done. I'll have to fix that at some point. Hi, Reese. Hi, Haley. How you doing? Also, Tanika? Am I saying that right? Welcome into the YouTube chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So, this isn't it, Jew. At least for everybody that wanted Roblox. Reset settings in Roblox? Is that what does it? Really? Don't feel like I want to, which is crazy. Crazy. Oh. Get Cancel Tycoon immediately pops up. Ah. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to log in now. Okay. I can't believe we completed Subliminal in one live. I'm also really sad that I missed out on getting what other games are there's like games like it. The photo one, Viewfinder. Is that right? Holy smokes! Type so fast, you type everything in the wrong order. Viewfinder. This game looks really sick. I think I've talked about it a couple times on stream. You like take a photo of a location, your little Polaroid, and you only have so many photos you can take. Like this. Take a photo of the ground. When you print it off, place it in front of you, and now it's actually there. How freaking sick is that? So it's all based off of perspective, sorry. Oh my god, that's so cool, dude. That's so cool. Like, that is really cool. What are you gonna do? Like, what? How sick is that, dude? It's a printer where you can print the same photo over and over and over so you can climb them. Oh. Brain breaking. I really don't know how they made this game. Oh, that's so good, dude. How did they design this game? Like, for real, how did they do this? Oh. Yeah, that's incredible. It's dope. Hella dope. My poor Rizline. Oh, to get lost in the sauce? Where? Math is so confusing. It's always talking about X and Y, but never you and I. Why is so good, dude? Where do you get these from? I mean, obviously you could just Google, I guess, but that's pretty damn good. Okay, are you telling me this actually got an update recently? Special promotion ends on the 9th. Today is the 29th. We got way too much time. All right. Wait. On the 9th? That's 9-9. Oh, yeah. Okay. 9-9. This is a great game. And I was talking to Jade and Colton. They seem to really have liked it as well. It's very much the forest, but you're in a jungle. But then the Forest 2 came out, and I got that. And I was like, maybe I don't need the other one. End of the day. I want to see if there was like how do you events and announcements? When did that happen? August 28th. Literally yesterday. No. Yes, yesterday. They created a new storage unit. Oh, sick. No way. See, they need this in the forest, dude. They really need that in the forest. So all I got is like, it just does logs or just does one type of item. That's cool that you can like stack them like that. Yeah. Storage and transportation, hey? Interesting. Okay. Cool that they're still working on it considering it's a 2019 game. Not many games after 4 years are still being updated. Besides, I don't know, like what? GTA got a lot. There's Blazing 8's Gartic Phone. He even got YouTube. I can't do it. Well, I can. I can do the YouTube. You know what's crazy, dude? I don't know if you've seen this series. Where is it? I've got this one already pulled up because I find this. Oi! So I decided 2 a.m. Great time. That I was going to scroll on YouTube Shorts, and I ran into the YouTube Shorts of these.
Well, look who it is. I know.
And I just went over and over, swipe next one, swipe next one, swipe next one, and it was ridiculous. The story, I mean, it's a story, right? It's not real, but
that you're here from TikTok because I woke up and the Stairs story had well over 1 million views on TikTok, and everybody in the comments was berating me for a part 2 or an extended version, or where's the YouTube version? I'm waiting on the YouTube.
See, I didn't see it on
Here
YouTube.
it is. I just made an extended version
YouTube
of the
Shorts.
Part 1. We don't even have part 2
YouTube
recorded yet,
Shorts.
but we're gonna record tomorrow, and I'm gonna do my absolute best to edit it for you guys by Wednesday. If
That's
you guys
great.
wanna get
Thank you, brother.
this video,
Thanks, brother.
encourage
He grows a beard like I grow a beard.
watch
Not at all.
story. And subscribe.
But he's
Also,
good. He's a good storyteller. Hella
the
good
story that I'm
storyteller.
gonna tell today. I've
Okay, dude. I don't. We'll do like 3 minutes of this shit for a second, just to see what you guys think of it. All right. It had me, bro. 2 a.m, sitting there, literally not wanting to look behind myself while I was lying in bed. I was like, fuck this. I hate that my room's dark. I hate this, but I gotta go to bed. Except, what's up? Thanks for the follow. Can you react to my cousin's song?
actively not told.
Drop it in the chat.
Because it's like a weird one, and it makes me
We'll
feel
see.
weird, kind of.
But I'll be
because
brutally
it's
honest.
It's something that happened to me, but it's also something that how do I explain? Like,
you don't want to really relive, right?
not that I don't want to relive it. It was just a weird thing. It was like a bizarre experience that I partially don't believe.
Even though you're a part of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Okay, here we go.
And it's one that people will think like.
It's a banger, Shrus. Drop it in the chat.
What's a good example? What's a good example? Like,
People thinking it'll be fake.
you know when you're a kid, you're like a little kid, and like you pissed your pants,
Yeah, you're like, oh fuck.
then you're ashamed of it,
Yeah.
and then you hide that you pissed your pants, and maybe you like go like hide the pissy underwear somewhere because you don't want anybody to know that you pissed your pants. But whatever,
Yeah.
you know. But it's like that it's like almost a shameful thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
so-
not proud of it. You're not proud of what you're gonna say, but it's part of you, so it's like fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's less of a it's not like I did something bad. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
something weird happened to me.
Sure.
That's like it's a little embarrassing
Sure.
in a way, right? So you remember Sam, right? Okay, so me and Sam went to Michigan together to do like a hike
I'll
because
go
he's an
back and find it.
outdoorsman.
Yeah.
And we were basically so we so we went on
Alright.
this hike, and it's like a 15-mile hike. You basically pull up and it's like a campsite, and you pull up, it's like a lodge, and then you hike to the campsite.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay, so we drive there. It's a very woodsy part of Michigan. It's like a lot of foliage, a lot of greenery, but there's
DM
trails.
it to me,
But
okay?
like
'Cause it's not going
the
in the
trail
chat
is like
for some
10
reason.
feet wide, and then around you is pretty much all woods. Okay.
This is from the lodge to the hike.
This is from the lodge to the campground.
Okay. So now you guys put all your stuff in the lodge. Is that why?
Yes. So you pull up to the lodge and there's guides because it's like a really it's like dense forest.
Sure.
So you're not allowed to. You basically sign up for a hike, and there's guides that take you from the lodge to the campsite, and then there's like park rangers and stuff that are there that make sure everybody's safe and stays around and stays good, right?
Yeah.
So basically we get there, drop our stuff off at the lodge, and then it's about a 15-mile hike. And
Dude, if you didn't want to turn around, then why would you make us hear it? Bro, just anyways.
During a 15-mile hike, there's like 35 of us that are going from the lodge to the campsite, but you're allowed to spread out because you guys are on the same trail. So some people hike faster, some people hike slower. You hike by your friend.
Sure.
You know, and everybody kind of spreads out, gets like a little bit of space, but everybody's within like 2 miles of each other, right? Nobody's like running ahead, nobody's getting left behind. There's always a park ranger way behind. There's always a park ranger way ahead, right? So we're technically with a lot of people, but it's just me and Sam, and we're on this trail, and we're kind of like, it's hilly, and we're kind of like coming down from uphill. We're almost like in a like kind of a valley, not like a steep valley, but just like a valley of a trail, right? In Michigan, you know, Michigan's kind of hilly, and there's the lining of trees on the side of the trail is like really, really, really dense. Like you look in, you couldn't see a deer if it was 10 feet in.
Oh, like it was like tall, like it was.
Yeah, it's a dense forest.
Sure.
Yeah, and we're walking, and so we're pretty much used to that. Pretty much just lines of trees on both sides, right? And we get to a certain part where I look off to the right, and there's a gap in the trees, and we look into the gap of the trees, and there's like a staircase 100 yards into the forest.
Oh my god.
Yo, thank you for 1,000 bits. Jeez, damn, Yessie. Also, the Riz was good. Both of those Rizzes were really good. The TV one was good as well. Vinny, what's up? Hello, what's up? What's up?
So
okay, this fucking story, man. All right, so they're walking. Anyways, yo, something about just like eerie shit in forests gets me. But I don't know how they wrote this, that it's just so clean.
You like look at it, and it's like weird. It sticks out completely.
Also, there has been multiple times where I found staircases in forests. All right, just a random set of staircases that go nothing. They just drop off, and I never understand. I've never gotten it why they're there, but there are multiple staircases in the forests around where I live, and we found them, and I've definitely climbed them.
And we like look in, it's just like
never thought.
a gap.
This makes a
gap,
creepy.
And 1 football field away, there's a staircase, and it's in a clearing. Just in a little bit of a clearing, and it's so out of place because it's not like a hunting staircase. It's not like oh, this looks like it should be in the woods.
Yeah.
It looks like it's plucked out of a mansion and like dropped. Okay. It looks like you were building a Sims house, and you chose this staircase, but you just put the staircase there, and then you deleted the rest of the house.
I was
completely just plucked out of a mansion.
And you see this through all the trees and stuff.
Through the gap in the trees.
Is it like a staircase going up, or is it?
It's a staircase with a slight twirl to it.
Oh, here we go.
But it just stops. It doesn't go anywhere. It's only like 10 feet high. Okay. Not even. But it's just, you picture like, oh, it goes like this and it turns. And then there's nothing. And we're like, that's weird. So we look at each other and we're like, park rangers aren't around. It's only about 100 yards away. Let's go check this out. Okay, so we start walking towards it.
Boys be boys.
And the closer we're getting to it, the more eerie that it's feeling, because this isn't like your local forest preserve, bro. We are in the middle of the woods. This is like we are on a nature adventure. And when you're wearing boots, khakis, camo, walking through the woods, when you see something so clearly man-made, it fucks with you. Yeah. It's weird. It looks out of place. It doesn't look naturally made. It looks man-made. So you're like, why is that here?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, for perspective, or perspective? What? No? For what are we watching? We're watching this is called The Stairs in the Woods. There's like 20 parts to this, but we're just gonna watch a little bit of this one. Maybe the whole thing. It's fucking nutty.
Curiosity starts popping up.
Yes. So we start walking towards
it. Should be made into a movie.
And it's like, this thing's like almost glowing, dude.
That's funny.
This thing is like, it almost has like a to
You
it.
open a treasure or some shit.
Weird.
Yeah.
And the closer I get to it, the more it's like, it's getting like creepier the closer we're getting. And it's like, it was almost like I was getting like intrusive thoughts of like climate.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like go
Dude,
up.
same.
Knowing
Every
you,
time I see a
you
staircase in the
love
woods.
like that kind of shit. We were just
I
talking
know,
about you
what's
throw
up?
yourself in the fire, dude.
It's like I'm like, I need to, oh, it's the thing is there, and it's like before I know it, I do the thing, and it's like, and I see this thing when we're walking up to it, and I'm like, everything in my head is saying like, go up these stairs. Everything's like, oh, get on there, climb up these stairs. So we're walking fast paced to it because we don't want to get caught. We don't want to get caught pulling off trail. We're not supposed to.
True.
And once we pull up to it, I'm like really inspecting it, but I just run up and I just hop on the first stair, and I have my hand on the railing and both my feet on the first stair, and bro, this is where it gets weird. This is where it gets like where I don't even believe it almost. And when I was on the staircase, the second I got onto it, it almost felt like it had like a little like light vibration to it.
Okay.
Like I felt it on my feet and on my hand, and it almost like it like tingled a little bit. And naturally I hopped on it. I was doing it as a bit. I was doing it as like, oh look, I'm gonna climb these stairs, and it's vibrating, and I'm like laughing, I'm like giggling, oh this is like really weird. And then I'm inspecting the staircase, and I'm like looking at it, and it has carpet on the stairs. The railing's white, the carpet's blue, like a royal blue, like an elegant blue, and there's no debris on it. There's not a leaf, there's not a sprinkle of dirt, there's not a bug crawling on it, there's not a blade of grass on it.
Invisible
And
house.
I'm like giggling and kind of just like talking out loud and like, oh, this is like super weird, like trying to be like giggly about it, right? But the longer that I'm on it, it starts feeling wrong. Then I'm like, it almost starts to feel like a trap. And then
That's what it sounds like, bro.
Right.
It sounds like a trap.
It sounds
what are
like
you
a
guys
trap,
doing,
right?
dude?
And I don't know how long I'm on it, 20, 30 seconds, and I'm like looking it up and down, and part of my head is saying keep going to the top. I'm like, climb to the top of the stairs. And then before I climb to the top of the stairs, I look back at Sam, and Sam is looking at me like he's horrified. Like he's looking at me like I have like a gash on my face. Like he is not happy with this situation. He's clearly distressed. And I'm like, huh. And then I look back to the top, and I'm like, should I still go to the top? Right? Intrusive thought. And he grabs me by the hood, and he like yanks me off the stairs really, really hard into him. Then I'm on my back on the floor. And because it's like this, it was kind of like this fun little adventure thing. When somebody gets like physical, it's not like immediate, like I'm like, what the fuck did you do that for? And I was also a little bit creeped out, so I wasn't so upset that he pulled me off. And then he immediately goes up to me, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, dude, like I'm fine. Like, why'd you pull me so hard? He's like, no, are you okay? And I was like, what are you talking about? And this is the part I'm slightly weird and ashamed about. I thought I was on there giggling, and he said I was having like a standing seizure, and I don't remember that.
What the hell?
Yeah. And my perspective is laughing, things like the staircase is vibrating, and I'm looking at this weird immaculate staircase in the woods, and he says my eyes are rolling in the back of my head and I'm having a seizure. So he yanks me off of it because it happened the second I touched it. I feel completely fine, like no type of side effect to it whatsoever.
Yo, Noah's so right.
But then I'm like, what? We have a little bit of back and forth. He helps me to my feet. He's like, are you okay to walk? Like, do I need to go get help? And I'm like, absolutely not, dude. Let's go back to let's go. Let's
Get
leave,
out of here,
dude.
yeah.
We hustle back to the trail. We get on it. Nobody's around. It's all good. And we just keep going on the trail. We talk about it for a bit, but I have to convince him that I'm fine, right? And I do. Like, he's like, okay, like that was super, super weird. Let's just keep it going, right? We have to get to this campsite anyway. And after a few minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, he could tell I'm okay, I'm having some water. We just finish up the hike, and more time passes. He knows I'm good, right? We get to the campsite, and then everybody's there. It's all good. Nobody saw anything. Nobody noticed anything. And there's food being made. It's been a long hike. Everybody's tired.
Yeah, 15 miles is crazy.
Yeah, and we're there. The night's going down. I still feel a little bit weird about it, but I'm like, oh, we're eating dinner. It's all good. It's getting night out. We still have like a weekend ahead of us, so I'm not trying to get like too low, I still got to get through this, But mind you, I have no physical side effect. Like I was like, I felt completely 100% normal and okay. But he still has like that vibe of like, are you good? You know,
just making sure he's concerned.
Yeah, of course.
He's been through some crazy adventures.
And then we're eating and stuff, and there's like as people are kind of going back to their tents and everything like that. Sam is like looking at me with concern throughout the day, and then as everybody's dispersing, one of the park rangers is looking at me with concern from across, like he's just sitting like across from us, and I could tell he's looking at me, and I'm like, did Sam tell this guy? And I'm embarrassed, bro. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm fine. And I'm like, and then I asked Sam, like, dude, look at the dude's looking at me. Like, did you tell him? And he's like, no, dude, I didn't tell anybody. Like, it's all good. And I was like, okay, why is this guy looking at me funny? Sam goes to the tent, whatever. And then this guy approaches me because I go to the bathroom before I go to the tent, and he catches me before I go to our tent. And this park ranger just like isolates me, and he's like, kind of looks pissed. And I'm like, he must have known. He must have seen us.
Go off track.
Whatever. And he just like looks at me in the face, like right in my eyes, and just goes, please do not tell me you touched the stairs.
What the hell?
And that's where part 1 ends.
What the fuck?
Yeah, part 2 next week. Well, come on. How'd you like?
Okay, yo, you're so right. He looks like Nash Greer. Bam, dude. Mix Nash Greer with Shane Dawson, and then you've got this kid. How does this actually work? Ready? Bam, bam, bam. Wait, well, more bam, bam. That's so weirdly accurate from that angle. Oh shit, dude. This fucking series though, it's really something. It's really something. And what they really, oh my god, they made it so creepy on the
do not
God, the other
the stairs. I promise I didn't.
They started
break anything.
adding.
I didn't mess with them because I'm thinking it's.
They start adding in these cutscenes of like AI generated photos based on what they're saying, and goddamn, does AI make things scary? Especially if you're like, oh, make this like ominous, and then all of a sudden the person's eyes are always like it's like ominous smiles. You ask AI to do smiles, or like there was a creepy thing smiling at me in the woods, and then it's just like got a smile, and then it's like make it ominous, and it's like yeah, and it's fucking terrifying. But yeah, goddamn. Okay, we're going. Okay. It's only 4 minutes.
National landmark. It's not about the stairs. I don't care that you damaged them.
Okay.
Please do not tell me you touched the stairs. I promise I didn't break anything. I didn't mess with them because I'm thinking it's some sort of like national landmark. It's not about the stairs. I don't care that you damaged them. Did anything happen to you? Then I think he's concerned about my health. I try to downplay it. I threw like a little bit of a fit, but I'm fine. Because I'm thinking he's like, do I have this kid who's a liability on my campsite? He seems upset that I'm okay. He's like, if something didn't happen to you, something's gonna happen to somebody else. That's weird. That's not where I thought he was taking this. And he's like, starts guilting me. There's women and children here. So if something didn't happen to you, something might happen to them. This guy's talking like he's absolutely positive that something horrible is gonna happen because I touched this national landmark staircase. Then I start pressing him because I'm like, why are you acting like these stairs are like this ominous thing? So I start asking him like, why would you take us on a hike by this super dangerous staircase? He starts to explain a little bit like I should be in the know about these ominous stairs. He starts saying stuff like they pop up randomly and they disappear randomly. Immediately I'm like, this guy's absolutely tripping. This guy is super weird. He is making things up and he's trying to like guilt me about touching this random staircase, making it seem like something horrible is gonna happen. So I'm like, this guy's super weird. I'm getting away from this deranged park ranger. So I go to sleep. I like leave this weirdo by himself because I'm going to bed. I'm trying to enjoy this trip. The next day, completely fine. We have such a good time at this campsite. There's a great lake over there. We're spending time in the water. Nothing weird is happening. Everything's completely okay. And in my head, that guy's tripping. He's super weird. We're fine. By the end of the day, I've completely forgotten about what happened. Sam's over it and we go to sleep because obviously when you're camping and spending so much time outside, you're exhausted. So we hit the hay early. At right about like 4 a.m., the sun's about an hour from coming up and we kind of hear a ruckus outside of the tent. And there's this kid, this young boy crying by himself outside. So we're like, oh. So we all get out of the tent and there's already people around him. Apparently, the word going around is that his mom is gone and his tent's gone and all their belongings are gone. And they start questioning this kid and they're like, where is your mom? And this little kid just points towards the tree line. So this kid's mom packed up all of their stuff apparently and went on her own hike in the middle of the night. So I'm like, this is mom of the year. We're kind of forming a search party. Everybody's kind of coming together like, all right, we're gonna go look for this lady. As we're walking towards the big group that's gonna go on the search, park ranger walks by me and Sam and he says some slick comment to me saying, you better hope we find her because if we don't, it's on you. At this point, I'm pissed because this guy is, first off, he's super weird telling me about these mythical stairs. Second off, now he's trying to blame blame me for this mom packing up her stuff and leaving in the middle of the night. And then Sam goes, well, why would he say something like that to you? Because of course, why would somebody blame somebody getting up and leaving in the middle of the night on me? And I fill him in about the mythology of these staircases that this weird park ranger told me. And Sam's face is expressing to me that he believes the ranger and not me, because I'm being sarcastic about it. And Sam seems pretty serious, and he goes, I think we should probably check by the stairs. Luckily, the search party is kind of directed towards the area of the stairs, because we don't think this lady's gonna go
Definitely
so far
Blair
off
Witch.
trail. So they're like, all right, maybe she went back to the lodge. She was done with the campsite. There's no sign of her. We don't see anything. We're just walking down the trail that we came in. But once we get to the clearing, and of course, this lady is sitting Indian style, exactly where the stairs were. And at this point, I'm a little freaked out, but I'm also like, of course she's sitting right there. Like, is she in on it too? Like, what's going on here? Why is this lady sitting Indian style exactly where the stairs were and the stairs aren't there? And then my mind starts going like, why am I in this situation where this weird deranged park ranger is in cahoots with this weird deranged mom, and she's sitting at this spot where these weird immaculate stairs were, and now the stairs aren't there? So me and Sam jog up to her. There's already like 3 people up there, and as we're approaching her, I see that she is, mind you, she's only been gone for like an hour and a half tops, and her clothes are like tattered. She looks like she got dragged through the forest. She looks like Bear Grylls after a week in Siberia by himself eating earthworms, and she looks deprived. She looks like she hasn't had water or food. Her eyes are giving psychosis. We get up and there's already people asking her questions. Like, one lady's like, what happened? Like, are you okay? She's just like kind of like rocking. She's going like, what took you guys so long? The guy that's there goes, don't worry, it's only been like an hour. You're safe now. And she just like mumbles out, it's been days. Right then I know, okay, she's crazy. They're still questioning her and shit, but she's not even answering their questions at this point. She's just kind of talking. I only caught a few sentences, and she like mumbled out, it told me you'd come. It told me I'd be safe by the stairs. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It told
Do we keep going, chat? Do we keep going? It's up to you. You make the choice. I do like that they're 4 minutes. They're so easy to just keep watching. God damn. Oh, it's so good. Heather. Oh, she's just joining in now. Oh boy. Oh boy. You're getting right into the meat of it all. He's telling a story of a camping trip he went on, where on his way into the campsite, they're going through like pretty heavy woods. And then all of a sudden they found a clearing, and they look down the clearing, and there's just this beautiful staircase in the middle of a clearing out in the woods. So him and his friend decide, no one's looking, let's just go sneak off and check it out. And yeah, he's telling the story that he decided to start walking and climbing the staircase, and his friend pulled him off, and he has no recollection of like what was really going on. And so he imagines himself climbing the staircase and giggling and thinking, this is so out of place. This is so weird. It's a beautiful, clean staircase in the middle of a forest. It's like perfect condition. Looks like it's from the middle of a home. And then his friend pulls him off and goes, dude, you were standing there having a seizure with your eyes rolling back in your head. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't understand. And then he's getting fucking questioned by the park ranger, being like, why the fuck didn't touch the stairs, did you? Like, why would you do this? You're gonna get someone hurt now. And he's like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Everyone's being fucking weird. And then this woman goes missing. And this is where you caught in. So they wake up at night and the kid's crying that his mom's gone. And then they send a search party out. And his friend's like, all right, maybe there's something going on here. So they go to check where the stairs were. And sure enough, there she is in the middle of the woods, just sitting alone. And like you heard, she's been gone for an hour, and she's freaking out, being like, you've been gone for days. What took you so long? Do I believe it? No, I think this is one of the greatest stories ever written. I do not think this is real. Absolutely not. He's got way too many crazy stories on YouTube for all of them to be real. He definitely was a kid who told the whole class, would try and scare them as a little kid with horror stories. Me or him? Me? I hope not. This definitely, maybe him. Because I definitely wouldn't. No, instead I'd paint my fingernails with markers red. I remember this. One of my most embarrassing memories of being a kid is I painted my fingernails red, and I was going to be like, oh, my fingers are bleeding. I don't know why. We just thought it'd be a funny spook. It was around Halloween. And the teacher just watched us sitting there and calling them. They were like, we're going to start the activity. Like, you coming? And we were like sitting there calling. We're like, wait. And we were like, took like 5 minutes. And they were like, are you coming? I was like, wait. And then we ran up. Me and my friend. We ran up with our red fingernails. We're like, our fingers are bleeding. And they were like, cool, go sit in the corner. Yo, I thought it was going to be so cool. I didn't even get to play musical chairs. Nope. I had to sit there and watch everyone else play it. And everyone else thought it was stupid too. So me and my friend, we sat in opposite corners. So we couldn't even be like, yeah, that was kind of sick, bro. Dap each other up. No. It was embarrassing. Yeah, definitely you, Reese. Yo, fuck you, man. I see the JKs after, but still, it hurts. You got hurricane reports? Dude, it is raining heavily here. We had thunder that woke me up last night, like crazy loud thunder. And I think there was even lightning and stuff, but it's still hot. So now it's just muggy. Like, I am wet and hot, and I don't like it. It's gross.
It told me I'd be safe.
All right.
It told me you'd come. It told me I'd be safe by the stairs. And I'm like, are you kidding me? The stairs aren't even here. How does she even know that there were stairs here? At this point, I fully believe the park ranger. Like 100%, he was right. I feel so guilty. I'm the reason that this woman is in this deranged fit, sitting crisscross applesauce in this clearing. The reality of the situation is just hitting me all at once. And we get this lady up and we're like, all right, we have to take her back to the campsite because we can't take her to the lodge. We can't take her to the hospital. We have to go back to the campsite because that's where everybody is. That's where her kid is. So we get this lady up and we start walking her back. It's only like 4 of us. It's me, Sam, and the 3 people that found her. As we're walking back, me and Sam are a little bit ahead of them because they found her. They've been consoling her, and I don't want to mess with the morale that they've built with her. And as we're walking back, she's just rambling to herself in like a really light voice. It said this, it said that, and they're just trying to console her, like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Your son's at the campsite. She goes, just like really light voice, son. Everybody's being very gentle with her. She's been through a lot, so nobody's like, oh, she doesn't know her son is. This lady doesn't even know her own name. Her eyes are absolutely deranged. And he goes, yes, yeah, your son, they just sent the kids on an excursion so nobody would freak out that you're gone. Everything's okay. And she just goes, what's his name? And he goes, oh, your son's named Nick. He's just giving her the answers that she needs to get back to reality. So he's doing a great job consoling her. And as we're walking back, the guilt in me is rising, and all I could think about is how much I want to apologize to this park ranger for, I was kind of disrespectful. I was brushing him off. Everything that he said is happening. Once we get back to the campsite, it's a long walk. I have a lot of time to think about what I'm going to say to him. And right when I see him, he sees the woman. I swear to God, this man exhales for the first time since I met him. Like, he is so relieved to see that she's alive. And I walk right up to him, man to man, and I just start apologizing. I'm like, dude, I fully believe you. I'm so sorry I did this. Please tell me what I could do to help. He looks at me serious, but he knows I'm being sincere, and he gives me like a kind of a half apology, just recognizing that I'm trying to mend our relationship. He just kind of apologizes for being so hard on me. As he's walking away, he kind of sighs out, man, I just needed you to know how serious this situation was. Like, my bad for being so hard on you. I just hate finding dead kids, man. That hit my heart like a bomb because he knew something horrible was going to happen. He didn't know if it was going to be an adult or a kid. He said it as if it's happened before and that he's had to find kids like that. And the idea of finding a kid in the same state that she's in was absolutely heartbreaking. So at this point, we're in full get this lady better before her kid comes back from the excursion. We clean her up, we get her food, we get her water, we get her new clothes. We just try to doll her up a little bit so the kid doesn't come back and see his mom in this horrible state. So we're just sitting around the campsite. She's all cleaned up. She looks pretty good. She's just sitting there with her hands folded in her waist and her like knees touching each other, just like she's sitting very delicately. She's just kind of looking around. She's still very spacey. She's just looking around. She's not really talking to anybody. She's still mumbling to herself a little bit, but she seems like she's a little bit more put together, a little bit more calm. She's pretty happy that she's back at the campsite. As the kids are coming back, the entire group is kind of expecting this reunion moment. Everybody's expecting like a warm embrace, like we're all happy, everything's okay. And when the kids come up, the son walks up to the end of the campsite and everybody's looking at her and everybody kind of goes silent for this embrace. She looks up and she kind of sees that everybody's looking at her. It almost looks like she took it as a cue, and she scans the kids and she just kind of lets out Nick, just really gently. And then we look at the kid, and the kid is like scowling at his mom. Like he's looking at a stranger that he doesn't like. He gestures like, what? Then she stops scanning the kids and she locks in on him. She almost stands up like she's ex machina, just very robotically and gently, no wasted movements. And she just lifts her hands slightly, like as if she's inviting him to come give her a hug. And instead of coming to give her a hug, the kid starts backing up. He's like half crying and he says, that's not my mom anymore. I want my dad. And he runs off. And then I'm looking around the group. It feels so awkward and so tense. The moment didn't unfold how we were expecting. And everybody has this kind of like sadness on their face. And then I scan and I see the park ranger's face. And he's looking at the woman like his world is being torn apart. He's more anxious than I've seen him this entire time. He's like half crying and he says, "That's not my mom anymore." I see the park ranger's face and he's looking at the woman like his world is being torn apart. The women at the campsite immediately go up to the mom to start to console her, tell her that kids react to trauma in different ways and he'll get over it and it's going to be okay. Her face is expressionless, as if she's not even hearing these women and just looking right past them, and her eyes are just following the kid. Everybody else in the campsite starts dispersing because this is the most awkward, tension-filled moment I've ever been in, except for the park ranger. I see him talking to the camp guide. I sneak behind to eavesdrop a little bit to see what he's saying, and he's telling the camp guide to call the father, tell him to come pick them both up tomorrow. I can kind of tell that the camp guide is not in the know, because the way he's saying it, he's saying she doesn't seem fit to drive. He's talking as if he's not aware of the gravity of the situation. The camp guide just says yes, walks off, and I'm still standing behind him, and he just barks out, "Doug, come here." And it was one of those moments that, like, when you're sitting in the back of class messing around and your teacher's writing on the whiteboard and they just call out your name without even looking at you, chills down my spine. I just immediately walk up. "What do you want me to do?" I'm in full soldier mode at this point because this is my fault. I want to help fix it. He starts speaking very firmly. His eyes are completely locked on this mom. He's not even looking at me. And he just goes, "I'll keep my eyes on her. You take care of the kid. The father can't get here until tomorrow. By no means does she interact with that kid until he gets here. Do you understand me?" I go, "Got it."
Sir, what's in his mouth, bro? Why is it? I can't unsee that. There's a straight up a little square packet. Is this one of those like? It's probably one of those stupid nicotine things.
Mind you,
I'm pretty sure that's like big in America or something. It's like instead of using chew, you get like a little packet that slowly releases. I don't know. Feels like that would just make you sick.
Eyes on her. You take care of the kid. The father can't get here until tomorrow.
All right.
I'll fix it. He starts speaking whiteboard and they just call out your name without even looking at you. Sorry, chills down my spine. I just immediately walk up. "What do you want me to do?" I'm in full soldier mode at this point because this is my fault. I want to help fix it. He starts speaking very firmly. His eyes are completely locked on this mom. He's not even looking at me. And he just goes, "I'll keep my eyes on her. You take care of the kid. The father can't get here until tomorrow. By no means does she interact with that kid until he gets here. Do you understand me?" I go, "Got it." I beeline towards the kid. Mind you, I've been working with kids for years at this point. I know how to build a comfortable relationship with a kid. I'm not worried about it. When I get to Nick, he's playing bags by himself off to the side, and I just walk up, I just say best 2 out of 3. I start cracking jokes. It's easy to make kids laugh. It's easy to make kids forget what's going on. We're having a pretty good time until one of the other kids walks up and just puts both of his hands over his face like this and goes, "Are you gonna cry again?" and starts laughing and runs off. I look at Nick and I go, "Bro, what was that about?" And Nick goes, "I told him who my mom left with last night." "Who did your mom leave with last night?" "I saw her holding hands with a man as she walked into the forest last night." "What did he look like?" And Nick just holds his thumb up and he goes, "His face looked like this," and he rubs the front of his thumb. "What did he look like?"
Yo, another one?
And Nick just holds his thumb up and he goes, "His face looked like this," and he rubs the front of his thumb.
Bro should write Black Mirror season 7. I'm telling you, it's fucking clean, bro. This could be easily made into a good show. Netflix, get on this.
I have no idea what that means, so I immediately start asking follow-up questions. What color was his skin? What was he wearing? And Nick just goes, "He was pale." "Did he have any distinct facial features? Bushy eyebrows, bright eyes, a big nose?" He didn't have any of those. His face was smooth. So apparently there's some weirdo in a mask drawing women into the woods in the middle of the night. Got it. I'm internally freaking out, but I don't want him to see that. So I start reassuring him, letting him know that he's safe. We're not gonna let that man hurt him. He's not coming back again. I want to keep distracting him and giving him a fun day, but I need to go report this back to Sam. So I make an excuse to go back to the tent. I give Sam the nod. We gotta talk. The second the tent zips closed and I'm about to start spewing all of this new information that I learned, Sam cuts me off. I go, "I have so much to tell you." He goes, "Me first." He kind of guiltily goes, "I've been spying on the mom." I go, "Why?" He goes, "This is gonna sound really weird, but I was in a group with her. You know when everybody in a group starts laughing and then one person is left laughing at the end after everybody else stops? Well, that happened. She was the last one laughing and I looked at her. And for a split second, she was still laughing, but her mouth was closed and she wasn't moving. Nobody else saw it but me." He goes, "It irked me so bad, I haven't been able to leave this woman alone for the rest of the day. I've been spying on her this entire time." I'm not fully sold on this idea, so I go, "Okay, what else has she been doing?" Sam goes, Everything that she's doing is performative. When nobody's around her, she sits motionless. And I'm not talking about relaxing. I'm talking about this woman is not moving. What do you mean if nobody's around her? You've been following her around. And then Sam kind of holds up a pair of binoculars, a little bit proud to show off the commitment to his spy work. And he goes, I've been watching her with these. He goes, I watched her for 30 minutes straight, bro. She did not move. She did not blink. She was not breathing. She looked like an empty vessel. And then when somebody walks near her, she starts blinking. She wrenches out a weird smile. She starts looking around as if she's taking in nature. And she starts fake breathing. Imagine a mime pretending that he's breathing. And then the second they walk away, she sits motionless again. It is the most bizarre thing I've seen in my life. And then Sam kind of starts like looking around, kind of questioning to himself if he's going to say the next thing to me. And I'm like, bro, just spit it out. What? You know how she was saying it's telling her to do this, it's telling her to do that? I don't think it is telling her to do anything. I think she is it. I don't even get to fill in Sam about the smooth face man before he goes, we got to tell the ranger right now. I just oblige and follow him out of the tent, and we pull up on the ranger, and Sam just starts pouring his heart out about all of the evidence that he's found throughout the day. And the ranger's just listening patiently, nodding. And then right when Sam finishes, the ranger just goes, don't worry, boys, we're on the same page. There's no chance I'm letting that thing leave my park. The ranger just goes, don't worry, boys, we're on the same page. There's no chance I'm letting that thing leave my park. He said that thing. Immediately my head goes, is she possessed? Is it in her? Or is the whole her not her? The ranger goes on and says, you guys have no idea how lucky we are that that kid doesn't trust her. But it is vital that we keep them separate and do not give her an opportunity to manipulate him. You guys need to understand that this thing has one motive, and that is to get out of the park. And the only way it can get out of the park is if it manipulates a loved one to escort it out of the park. We just need to keep doing what we're doing and keep them separate until the dad gets here tomorrow morning. I already told the camp guide to send all the kids paddleboarding all day, so it has no chance to talk to him during the day. You guys need to monitor her during the day and then get that kid to his tent immediately when he comes back. And then we're home free once we get that kid to his father. So before I even get to really digest that new information, me and Sam hustle back to the common area just to keep an eye on her to make sure she's not running off or something. When we get back there, we see that she's not dormant anymore. She's a little bit more active today, and she's just walking around the campsite asking different groups of campers if they've seen her son. All the campers are still being nice and gentle with her because they kind of know what happened, and they're just telling her all the kids went paddleboarding, it's fine. But by like the third time she asks each group, you could kind of see that the campers are getting a little annoyed and frustrated with her. And she goes back up to this one group to ask them for like the fourth or fifth time, and one burly country dude just kind of blurts out, kind of joking, that dad can't get here soon enough, am I right? And then his wife or girlfriend hits him on the shoulder for being rude. Honey, be patient, the dad's gonna be here in the morning. And then it starts repeating what she said, as if it's taking in that new information and formulating a new question to ask them. And it repeats it 3 times. My husband's gonna be here in the morning. My husband's gonna be here in the morning. My husband's gonna be here in the morning. And then she looks back at the group and says, do you know what time my husband's gonna be here in the morning? And the burly country guy goes, no ma'am. And she walks away, but a little bit more frantic this time. The only way I know to explain is that she turned from more active to almost erratic, as if it knows that now it's crunch time. She only has one day to convince this kid to take her home. And she's walking from group to group, just repeating herself. Do you know what time my husband's gonna be here? Do you know what time my husband's gonna be here? It literally walks around asking the same question, getting the same answers, until the sun started to come down and the kids start coming home from paddleboarding. We're coming up on dinner time when everybody meets in the common area to eat. And we can't just obviously keep a mom separate from her kid without the other campers getting really suspicious. So me and Sam go to meet with Nick before he even re-enters the campsite because we just want to avoid this situation entirely. If we just get through this part, we get him in his tent, then we're home free, we got the kids safe, and we're all good. So we're just assuming that it's going to follow the herd to go get food, and we could just go get Nick to his tent and we're good. So I just have Sam go make a couple of plates of food for us while I escort Nick to his tent. But within the couple minutes that Sam is getting our food ready and I'm getting Nick to the tent, it must have slipped away, because when we get to Nick's tent and he unzips it, it immediately pops out and grabs him by the arms and says, you're not going to leave without mommy when daddy gets here. Figure out if he had any loved ones or family nearby. But before he got
I've definitely seen every Black Mirror. That Black Mirror is what got me into like everything that came with storytelling for myself. Like I was an improviser and all that, but I never wanted to like write stuff until my teacher, my English teacher, played one of the Black Mirror episodes. We watched about half of it, and then I got addicted because we didn't watch the other half. So I was like itching to get more Black Mirror in me. But yeah, of course I've seen them. Okay. We good, chat? Of course I wasn't gonna let you answer that. I'm like, dude, I'm throwing it in there. Favorite episode, USS Callister. With White Christmas and USS Callister is my favorite. Obviously, the ending is one of my favorite endings. Not a big fan of the Everyone Hates Jane series. I don't like the whole new season actually. It's too meta. Yeah. You a time traveler? Because I can see you in my future. God damn it. Wait, that would make you the time traveler if you could see the future, right? Maybe? I don't know. What's your favorite episode? Actually, I want to know everybody's favorite episode for Black Mirror. The episode we watched, I don't remember what it's called. Oh, well, San Junipero is like everyone's favorite. Let's be honest. Don't even like, if you don't put that in your list of top, like, get out of here. What? Your favorite episodes are Nosedive, Hated in the Nation, like episode 1, season 1? Is that not episode 1, season 1, Hated in the Nation? And Crocodile? I hated Crocodile for some reason. I can't remember what it was about, but I watched it like 3 times. I know for a fact I've always been like, fuck, why did I watch that one? It's not what I like. That's crazy. We have opposites. Those are my least favorite for some reason. I don't remember what Nosedive was about. I'm pretty sure that one was pretty good. The Bandersnatch was insane how they did that. Are you a parking ticket? You got fine written all over you. Huh. Crazy. Oh, season 3, episode 6. Okay, then it's... Oh, that's the kid that's like forced... He's like blackmailed or something, right? Like the photo is him with the sunglasses on. It's the thumbnail. Something like that. Is that one? Season 1, episode 1. I can't believe Black Mirror just started off with like, hey, here's it's about fricking a pig on live television. That one is something, hey. But you for real got fine written all over you. Oh, God damn it. Stop this. Nosedive is the one with the rating system. That's the one I first saw. And I got we got halfway into it. And then it was like the part where she can't get a car or something. And then boom. Bell rang. And they were like, that's the end of class. And then we never got back to it. I think my teacher disappeared because she was pregnant at the time. Then she went to go have her kid. And the other teacher was like, no, we're not going to finish that. Such an L. One with the bees where they... Oh, I totally forgot about the bees. I forgot about that one. I totally forgot about that one. Yeah, no, mine are San Junipero being number 1, actually. USS Callister, number 2. White Christmas. It makes me so uncomfortable, the White Christmas one, because it just... every time I just sit there and I'm like, oh, this is Christmas. I watch it during Christmas time every year. So that one's kind of number 3 just because I made it a little bit of tradition to myself. Like, God, it's a little much. Stop. There's so much Riz in the chat. God damn you guys. Are they killing everyone trending?
Taken by this thing, he was very open with me and everybody else that he on the camp asking everybody who he came here with, and he was trying to figure out if he had any loved ones or family nearby. But before he got...
I'm going back.
My brain immediately goes, if we're lucky with this thing, what else is in this park? But the ranger just keeps going on with his story before I get to spew all of my questions. But what we do know is that these things target people that are under the influence. The last time I had to deal with one, it tricked this hippie guy that came here by himself, and he basically
Wait, what? How did we get here? Huh?
Almost joyfully. My husband's gonna be here in the morning. We start walking away and I see Sam a little bit more relaxed at this point, and the questions start flowing in my head that I'm about to ask this guy, because I have 1,000 of them. When we sit down, the first question that comes to my head is, so you know what that thing is then? Then he says, kinda. All the other rangers call them mimics. I've heard plenty of stories about them, but I've only had one other personal experience with it. My working theory is that interacting with the stairs almost calls to them like it's this personal hotspot, because incidents like this are few and far between, but whenever the stairs are involved, it feels like it attracts everything. We're very fortunate that we had a lucky draw with the mimic, because it could have been something so much worse. My brain immediately goes, if we're lucky with this thing, what else is in this park? But the ranger just keeps going on with his story before I get to spew all of my questions. But what we do know is that these things target people that are under the influence. The last time I had to deal with
wait. I know. I'm keep doing this. 23, 29. Didn't I thought Why not just destroy the stairs? I don't think you want to interact with them at all. Oh, because he went part 6 and it jumped to 1 to 10 compilation. Got it. We're way in.
And as she walked into the forest, so much to tell you. He goes, me. He's breathing. And then the second goes on and says, you guys have no idea how lucky we are that that kid doesn't trust her. But it is vital that we keep them separate and do see her son. All the campers are still being nice and gentle with her because they kind of know what happened. And they're just telling her, all the kids went paddleboarding. It's fine. Honey, be to almost erratic, as if, do you know what time my husband's gonna be here in the morning? And the burly country guy goes, no ma'am. And she walks away, but a little bit more frantic this time. The only way I know to explain is that she turned from more active to almost erratic, as if it knows that now it's crunch time. She only has 1 day to convince this kid to take her home. And she's walking from group to group.
We gotta get that kid
So
back.
Me and Sam go to meet with Nick before he even re-enters the campsite. We just want to avoid this situation entirely. If we just get through this part, we get him in his tent.
Season 6 was weak. Season 3 is the strong season.
And we're all good. So we're just assuming that it's going to follow the herd to go get food. And we could just go get Nick to his tent and we're good. So I just have Sam go make a couple of plates of food for us while I escort Nick to his tent. But within the couple minutes that Sam is getting our food ready and I'm getting Nick to the tent, it must have slipped away. Because when we get to Nick's tent and he unzips it, immediately pops out and grabs him by the arms and says, you're not going to leave without mommy when daddy gets here. Because when we get to Nick's tent and he unzips it, immediately pops out and grabs him by the arms and says, I could say I did something heroic, but I just let out a and I double hand grip Nick's string backpack because I didn't want to risk touching this thing. And I swung him behind me really hard because I wasn't trying to get into a tug of war. When I tell you in this moment, I was mortified because I was the only thing in between her and Nick. I felt the fight or flight creeping in and I had to remind myself that this isn't a woman. And if it takes a step forward, I'm not flying. I'm just standing there and the only words that I could get out are, you good? And then it just says kind of softly and menacingly, we need alone time. Don't make me scream. I bark at Nick to go get the ranger because the only thing I want in this moment is an authority figure here that isn't me, because I have no idea what this thing is capable of and the ranger does. So Nick books it and I'm just frozen there staring at this thing, waiting for it to scream and make me look like an absolute creep in front of the entire camp. But it just stands there for a few moments with its eyes darting around like it's searching for something in its head.
I'm literally in the kitchen alone next to the back door. It's made of glass. This is why I was lying in bed in the pitch black thinking, don't, please, nothing in my room make a sound. Please, nothing in my room make a sound. And of course, there were sounds going on behind me around my door. I don't know what fell, some hoodie, something. And I just sat there and I went, I think I'd rather just die without looking at whatever creature's behind me than turning around and being, ah! And then dying, you know? I was like, I'm just going to keep watching this video on my phone. Just die silently. Anyways. Shall we continue?
Almost as if it's trying to remember something. With its eyes darting around like it's searching for something in its head. Almost as if it's trying to remember something. And just like that, its eyes lock onto me and I damn near brace for impact. Because I think she's going to let out this horrific scream. And I am absolutely not looking forward to this scene that this thing is about to make. When this thing finally explodes into a scream, I get a little confused and almost a little bit relieved. Because in that moment, I realized that this thing only mimics sounds. This thing has no gauge of human inflection or social cues. Because the scream that it didn't match the situation. I was expecting it to scream in horror as if it was accusing me of attacking her or something. But instead it screamed as if it was that one annoying little girl that just screams about anything while she's playing. I peek for a quick second just to kind of see the camper's reaction, and I get even a little bit more relieved because I see a few of them rolling their eyes because at this point they seem so fed up with this lady's behavior. The slight relief that I had disappears immediately when I look back at it because it abruptly stopped screaming because it could tell it didn't work, and its chin tucks a little bit and it starts looking out the top of its eyes as if it's honing in on me. And the adrenaline in my chest starts pumping because I don't know if this thing is going to run away or it's going to attack me. It almost looked a little bit happy about how scared I was, gave a little bit of a smirk, and replied, "You good?" in my voice with its mouth closed. Exactly how I just said it to them. It did it as if it was threatening me that if I get in the way of her leaving with Nick, it can mimic me and leave with Sam. It did it as if it was threatening me that if I get in the way of her leaving with Nick, it can mimic me and leave with Sam. That moment felt like it lasted forever, but then finally I felt something grab my shoulder and I look back and it's the ranger, luckily. And he has this confidence on his face that he's about to just handle this situation, which makes me feel so much safer. And he loudly says, "Don't let this thing intimidate you. It can only take your form if it could put you in a trance. And the only way it could put you in a trance is if you're inebriated. You didn't drink anything tonight, right?" I just nod my my head, no. And he goes, then you're good. Then he looks at her and just says, go to sleep. Your husband's gonna be here in the morning. Kind of brushing her off. Her eyes light up like she likes what he just said. And she almost scurries back into the tent. And as we're walking away, I hear her repeating herself almost joyfully, my husband's gonna be here in the morning. My husband's gonna be here in the morning. We start walking away and I see Sam walking up with the plates of food with a look on his face like, hey dude, what happened? The ranger tells me and Sam to come eat dinner with him.
Hold
and
on,
that we
hold on,
deserve
hold
a
on.
little bit of an explanation. As we're walking to where he Ranger tells me and Sam to come eat dinner with him and that we deserve a little bit of an explanation. As we're walking to where the ranger tells me and Sam to come eat dinner up with the plates.
It's only going by 5
food.
seconds. I thought it was going by 15. Like a phone goes by 10, I think. I love these AI photos, bro. This got to be made by AI, right? There's no way someone went through the work of cutting these photos out, putting a random background. But the food kind of looks legit. No.
On his face like, hey dude, what happened? The ranger tells me and Sam to come eat dinner with him and that we deserve a little bit of an explanation. As we're walking to where he usually eats dinner, a little bit away from the other campers, I see Nick in between 2 camp guides and he's safe, so I'm a little bit more relaxed at this point, and the questions start flowing in my head that I'm about to ask this guy because I have 1,000 of them. When we sit down, the first question that comes to my head is, so you know what that thing is then? Then he says, kinda. All the other rangers call them mimics. I've heard plenty of stories about them, but I've only had one other personal experience with it. My working theory is that interacting with the stairs almost calls to them like it's this personal hotspot, because incidents like this are few and far between, but whenever the stairs are involved, it feels like it attracts everything. We're very fortunate that we had a lucky draw with the mimic, because it could have been something so much worse. My brain immediately goes, if we're lucky with this thing, what else is in this park? But the ranger just keeps going on with his story before I get to spew all of my questions. But what we do know is that these things target people that are under the influence. The last time I had to deal with one, it tricked this hippie guy that came here by himself, and he basically just toked the whole time, so he was an easy target. And I was the one that saw him walk into the forest with it. I thought about chasing them and intervening, but once they hit the tree line, it's almost like they dissolved into the woods. In my head, I'm like, that's exactly what Nick told me, so this ranger is definitely onto something. The ranger goes on and says, when the hippie wandered back into camp, he knew it definitely wasn't him because he was talking super formally, and this guy was the opposite of formal. Everything that he did was super laid back.
Yo, what? Please, I'm sorry I'm breaking the moment a little bit. What was the prompt for this? Is like formal hippie in a campsite. And that's what it got. They must have typed that. That must actually be the prompt for this photo. I love it. You made it back to your room? Okay, good. And yes, those were buffalo chicken strips. Fire. And was I dipping it in mayo? No. I was dipping it in a well, it is kind of a mayo. It's wasabi mayo though. So it's even better. Even more spicy. You just said don't miss the stream. You're fucking right, dude. Welcome in. You are the GOAT now. Absolutely are the GOAT. Yeah, thanks for the follow.
Super formal. And this guy was the opposite of formal. Everything
This story,
that he did
bro.
was super laid back, chill, hippie vibe. And when he
This is why you don't do drugs in the forest, okay? You do them at your friend's house. Obviously.
opposite of formal. Everything that he did was super laid back, chill, hippie vibe. And when he came back speaking very eloquently, asking very specific questions in a monotone way, I knew something was off. He started walking around the camp asking everybody who he came here with, and he was trying to figure out if he had any loved ones or family nearby. But before he got taken by this thing, he was very open with me and everybody else that he was a traveling nomad and he had nobody really significant in his life in general. And when all of the other campers started their hike back to the lodge, he wouldn't leave the campsite. And when I told him that I couldn't leave the campsite without and that he was my responsibility to take home, he said he can't leave the campsite without somebody that loves him. It got really frantic and was pleading with me to call somebody for him, but I told him that he didn't even put anybody on his emergency contact form and there was nobody to call. I remember seeing the defeat on this thing's face, and then the last thing it said to me was, I ran out of time. And then he backpedaled towards the tree line, and it was almost as if his face dissolved and he shriveled up and became a part of the forest. And then 2 days later, we randomly found the hippie at the bottom of a pit about a mile off the campsite, and the autopsy said that he died of starvation about 2 days earlier. So it's my assumption that these things can't survive without a living host. They trick you, then they trap you, then they mimic you, try to convince somebody to take them home. It seems like they can't leave the park unless somebody that loves them escorts them out. The way she's been acting almost confirms that with me because it seems like she's been abiding by the same rules. But if we let this thing out and it gets to a city or a town, we have no idea how much damage this thing could do. I finally cut him off and I ask him, how are we going to get the husband to leave this lady? He confidently says, let me handle that. We just need to focus on getting Nick to the lodge and trapping that thing here. so we could focus on finding the real her while she's still alive. We just need to focus on getting Nick to the lodge and trapping that thing here, so we could focus on finding the real her while she's still alive. Then Sam chimes in and says we're gonna extract Nick at 0600, make the handoff with the father within the hour, and then we orchestrate a grid-style search party starting east of the campsite where Nick saw her leave. So that gives us 6 hours of sleep and approximately 10 hours of search time before the sun goes down. Sam kind of flipped the switch and starts taking control of the situation because he's a really fun-loving guy, but at his core, he's a tactical-minded, well-trained Army Ranger. The man was an Army Ranger for about 10 years. All it took for him was the confirmation of his suspicions, and the Army Ranger immediately came out. The park ranger piles on that we're coming up on day 3, and if we don't find her tomorrow, we might not find her alive. He dismisses us and tells us to get some rest, so me and Sam just clear our plates really quick to get some calories, and then we hustle back to our tent so we can get as much sleep as possible. But once we get back to the tent, I'm just laying there with my eyes open. I'm having a really tough time sleeping. I just keep thinking about her repeating my voice to me, and I just can't get that image out of my head. My mind was just going in loops and loops and loops, hearing my own voice being said to me. I can't express to you how eerie it is to hear your own voice when it's not coming from a recording. And it's like Sam knew exactly what I was thinking, and he just blurted out porcupine. And I was like, what, bro? And he says, that's our safe word, porcupine. If at any point we get split up or something crazy happens, you just ask me what that safe word is so you know it's me. He goes, got it? I say, got it. Having a plan.
Can't you just sedate the woman? I mean, can't you just seduce the woman? You know?
Set to be able to recognize each other gives me just enough relief to fall asleep, but it sure did not stop me from having nightmares all night. I abruptly woke up the next morning right as the sun was coming up, and I saw Sam was already getting ready. So I jumped up to catch up, because every moment that we're still here, that woman is still out there in the woods suffering. I get ready like I'm late for the first day of school. The ranger's already at the edge of the campsite with a really groggy Nick, having him climb into one of those off-roading golf carts. Thank God he had a vehicle, because I was not looking forward to a 15-mile hike there and back, and then a search party. Me and Sam jog up and we just hop into the back seat quietly because we are just trying to execute this mission and get this over with. When the ranger turns the engine on, we just hear a zip and she comes storming out of her tent towards the golf cart. We start driving away and it's a little bit of a downhill. So once you're about 30 feet away, you can't see over the ridge to the campsite anymore. But you could see her storm up to the edge of the trail and just stand there. This woman looked venomously angry that we lied to her. She stands dead center of the trail for about 5 seconds and then she just turns and sprints into the tree line.
Yo, you know what's kind of interesting is that it doesn't change from the first part, like part 1, and now what is like part 9 or something. He's still talking about the shape of that trail. He spoke about it in the first part being the same way. Each of these came out a week after, right? They did the part, I think each part came out each week, but it's matched out really well. This is really tight end storytelling at this point. Is the fact that I don't find some broken logic in a bunch of this, or like things that were foreshadowed are fucking hitting now. It's juice. It's actually juice. Noah's just memeing on this shit. There's also, what's the other one? I was gonna mention Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone. That's been going on for so many years. That show. It's very Black Mirror like. And there's some pretty damn good ones, but now it's hosted by Key from Key and Peele. Pretty sure. It's quite good. I like that one a lot as well.
Sam sees it too and goes, where do you think she went? The ranger cuts us off and says, keep your head on a swivel, because she's getting desperate. We're driving for about 10 minutes, and the trail ranger cuts us off and says, turns and that we lied to her. She stands dead center of the trail for about 5 seconds, and then she just turns and sprints into the tree line. Sam sees it too and goes, where do you think she went? The ranger cuts us off and says, keep your head on a swivel, because she's getting desperate. We're driving for about 10 minutes, and the trail continues to get more and more narrow as we go. It's about a 5-mile stretch where the trees are just about 3 feet away from each side of the golf cart. And for the next 5 miles, we found out where she went. She was periodically popping out of the tree line, screaming things at Nick. Mommy loves you. Take me home. Where's your father? And she was crying, please don't leave me. She never made an attempt on the vehicle. It just seemed like she was tracking us and following us and continuing to try to manipulate Nick. But let me tell you, it never got less creepy that she was always ahead of us. We finally get to the lodge and we see the father out front standing outside of his truck, looking pretty confused and frustrated. We tactically pull up next to the truck so we could get Nick into his vehicle as soon as possible. But the second we stop, Nick jumps out of the vehicle and runs to his dad, crying, saying, I want to go home. His dad gives him a quick pat on the back and says, don't worry, buddy, I'm taking you home. He says, wait in the car, I have to talk to these guys really quick. quick. We walk up and he very frustratedly asks, "Are you guys going to tell me why I had to rush here first thing in the morning?" I have no idea what we're going to tell this guy and how we're going to rush him to leave. But the ranger quickly replies that every child on his campsite needs to be accompanied by a responsible adult. As the father's asking where the mother is, she pops out of the woods, hustling up to us, announcing to the crowd, "Finally, my husband's here." She's walking up to him, starting to approach him, kind of looking maybe for a hug or an embrace, and he puts his hand up and starts backing up towards his truck. He says, "I cannot believe you right now." And she just replies in a kind of sad voice, "I just want my husband to take me home." He talks over and says, "Kristen, don't play that shit. We've been divorced for over a year." He starts scanning her. He's looking her up and down, and he has disgust on his face. And then I take a look at her. She's looking really drawn out, sleep deprived, and exhausted. In that moment, I can't help but to think, is she a mirror of the real Kristen? But the father cuts off my train of thought and says, "You promised me you were done drinking, and I gave you 1 week alone with him, and you can't keep yourself together." She gets like a little whimper out. "Can you please just drive me home?" And he says, "Absolutely not. Pull yourself together and take yourself home." He storms into his truck and drives off, and I can't believe that he did our job for us. And for just a brief second, it felt like we won, until she takes off sprinting back into the trees. It takes one look at each other, and we all have an understanding that she's trying to beat us back to camp so she could switch into somebody else before we get there. That moment of relief immediately turned into the most bumpy, chaotic, off-roading experience of my life. Because we have no idea how long it's going to take her to get back, but we know even at our top speed, it's going to take us 40 minutes. The ride back was far too loud for us to talk or have any type of conversation. So I'm just in my head thinking, what are we going to do with her when we go search for the real her? Because what's the point in finding Kristen if we come back and it found a new host, and we have to go through the same process all over again? When we pull up to the campsite, I'm damn near expecting this thing to be dragging somebody else into the woods with how desperate it looked when it was running away. But to my surprise, the campsite is completely vacant. Sam just blurts out, "Where is everyone?" The ranger fills us in that he had the camp guys take everybody onto the pontoons for a fishing excursion. So nobody was at the campsite for her to prey on while we were gone, but they might get back before we find the real Kristen. So we have to make this thing come on the search with us. I butt in right away and I go, "How do you expect us to do that?" And the ranger looks me in the face and says, "By any means necessary." We hop off the golf cart and we start walking with a purpose towards the campsite, assuming that she's hiding somewhere. But she's just sitting in the middle of the campsite on one of the logs by the bonfire, rocking back and forth. I see something on the log next to her, but as we get closer, I see that there's 3 crows sitting on the log to her right, and they're just standing there, perfectly perched on this thing, with exact spacing between them as if they're in formation. As we're walking up, I'm mentally preparing to have to fight this thing and drag it into the forest with us. I could tell by the way everybody's walking that nobody has any idea how this interaction is going to go, if she's going to get violent. But I know that I'm prepared to do whatever I have to do to save the real Kristen. I know they are too. Park ranger sternly says to her, "You're coming with us right now." And she just keeps rocking and mumbles back, "Do you know what the crows mean?" He cuts her off and says, "You're coming in the forest with us right now to find that woman." She looks up at us almost excited, with a really optimistic look on her face. She stands up really delicately and starts walking towards the tree line and says, "I'd love to go in the forest with you." Hey guys, it's 1 a.m. here at the studio. I just finished editing the compilation that you just
Dude, that's great. Thank you, brother. I'm okay. I'm good.
She stands up.
I really want to, chat. I really want to. Because I know it gets wild from here. I won't do it if you don't want me to. Yeah, we're only going to watch a part and then we get to part 10 already. Yikes. Oops. We can hop on gaming, you know. We could jump into a game or something.
It's up really delicately and starts walking towards the tree line and says, "I'd love to go in the forest with you." Sam immediately takes charge and says, "Let's do a triangle formation." He points at the ranger and says, "You're at the point, and then me and Doug will be on either side of her. Doug will scan the right, I'll scan the left, and she'll stay in the middle of all of us so she can't go anywhere." Me and the ranger just both nod in confirmation. The mimic seems so okay with this idea and just takes her place in the middle of the formation. It makes me so uncomfortable how willing she is to just do this, but we don't have a choice at this point and we need to just go looking. Once we're in formation, we start our descent into the tree line. I'm trying to do my job and just keep scanning the right for clues, but I can't help but to keep checking on her to make sure she's not getting any crazy ideas. We're walking for about 3 minutes, and when I peek back at her, there's something different about her. I want to take a better look at her, so I speed up for a second, and her face looks full and vibrant. The bags under her eyes are gone, her posture is perfect, and she's almost giving off an aura. And the aura was eerily similar to the glow that the stairs had. The forest is super dense, and there's not a lot of sunlight that gets through the trees, and Sam and the ranger ranger look completely shaded, but she looks like the sunlight's hitting her. She doesn't look like she's in the shadow of the forest, and that makes me internally panic because I already didn't like how happy she was to come in here. I really don't like that once we're in here, she's thriving. So I look away from her to just start really looking for clues, and as we keep hiking, everything in the forest starts looking the same. I start to feel a little disoriented and dizzy, but I just focus on the trees. Before I know it, I feel like so much time has passed, and I just feel out of touch with the situation. It felt like I was in an infinite loop of paranoia, and I realized I haven't checked on her or anybody else in the group for what feels like hours. So when I finally pull myself away from the haze, I pan back to the group, and the park ranger is standing where she was, and she's now at the head of the group. Me, Sam, and the ranger are just standing single file behind her. I have no idea when that switch happened, and I could tell that Sam and the ranger haven't realized the switch happened yet. I'm not even looking for clues at this point. I'm just disoriented and confused. Barely remember why we're even out here until the park ranger shakes his head really hard, like he's shaking the trance off, and blurts out, "Stop." He slaps me and Sam on the chest to stop us from walking. This is the first time I've seen real panic in the ranger's eyes, and he starts questioning me and Sam if we have any idea how long we've been out here or what direction we went. We all frantically check our watches and phones, but none of them are working. She had stopped walking about 10 feet ahead of us and just turned around and was calmly looking at us. The ranger storms up to her yelling, "Where'd you take us?" looking super aggressive and borderline violent, and she just gently replies, "I took you where you were meant to go, silly." She just lightly lifts her hands and points to her right. We all turn our gaze and we see this massive hollowed out tree with a big oval gap in the front of it, with glass stairs spiraling around the outside of it. They were like stairs that you would see in a loft, but they were sticking out of the bark of the tree. And I realized that the real Kristen is sitting in the fetal position, completely motionless inside of the oval gap. And I realized that the real Kristen is sitting in the fetal position, completely motionless inside of the oval gap. We're all just standing there in disbelief for a moment, and questions just start flooding my brain. Why would this thing take us directly to Kristen? Is it surrendering? Is it a trap? Was it planning to lead us here the whole time? I take a better look at the tree, and it's giving off the same illumination that her and the first staircase were giving off. I start to get those intrusive thoughts again, and I feel oddly drawn to it, but I know better than to act on them because of the first time. I look back at the other guys to see the reaction on their face, but when I look at Sam, the mimic is right next to him with her hand on his shoulder, whispering in his ear. I didn't even see this thing walk up to him. I take a step towards them, but before I could even get a word out, it whips its head towards me and mockingly says, "Porcupine." Sam's eyes are completely glazed over, and he's just staring at the tree motionless. She takes a slight pause, tilts her head mockingly, and takes her hand off his shoulder, and he immediately starts sprinting towards the tree. He gets a little bit of a head start on me, but I start chasing him right away because I could tell that something's off. As we're getting closer to the tree, I could tell he's not sprinting towards Kristen, he's sprinting towards the stairs, because the direction that he's sprinting is like 5 degrees off from the oval gap. I close in on him and I get one hand on his back. I was slowing him down, but I couldn't stop him from getting to the second step of the stairs because of the momentum that he had built. And once he touched it, I felt the stairs give off a vibrating pulse with each step. It was like somebody banged a drum the moment each foot hit one of the steps. I get my second hand on him and I rip him off the stairs once I get enough traction on my feet. I get him to the ground and I have to restrain him with all of my strength because he is trying as hard as he can to get back to these stairs. Sam is not a small or feeble guy by any means, and I have to use all of my strength to restrain him. But he's not fighting me. He's not hitting me. He's not pushing me. He's not even looking at me. His eyes are just fixated on the stairs and he's just clawing to get back to them. It gets to the point where I don't even think I could restrain him any longer until he just suddenly stops and goes limp. His eyes revert back to normal and he just looks at me and goes, "What happened?" He seems okay, so I look up to see what stopped him, and I see the ranger pulling Kristen out of the tree. It seems like the moment he pulled her out, he stopped. Me and the ranger look at each other and our eyes are asking each other, "What now?" And then we all look back towards the mimic. And this thing had such a satisfied, devious look on its face until its face started to fade away to nothing. And just like the ranger explained with the hippie, it starts to evaporate and almost become one with the forest. Once it completely disappeared, I look back to Sam to see if he's okay, and he gives me the nod that it's all good. So we immediately start putting all of our attention towards Kristen and huddle around her, and the ranger is giving her water. We're so relieved when she starts slowly regaining consciousness. It takes about a full minute for her to start making sounds and for her eyes to start opening. Once she looks coherent enough, the ranger asks her if she's okay, and she just lightly replies, "What took you guys so long? It's been days." The ranger follows up and asks her if she remembers anything, and she barely gets out, "It told me you'd come. It told me I'd be safe by the stairs." And she barely gets out, "It told me you'd come. It told me I'd be safe by the stairs." For a second, I didn't realize why that rubbed me the wrong way until Sam whispered to me, "That's exactly what the mimic said when we first found it." But this realization to me was absolutely world-shattering because I realized that we didn't win. It's like the mimic knew we were going to find her like this, and it was mocking us from the beginning. Then even more questions start flooding my mind. Did it not want to get out of the park? Was its motive just to get us back to the stairs? And why did this thing look so deviously satisfied? We're tending to Kristen while I'm internally turning these questions over in my head. She's severely dehydrated and starving, so I don't don't really have time to think. We just have her slowly rehydrating from the ranger's canteen and nibbling on protein bars from Sam's pack. I want to leave so bad, but we have to wait till she's strong enough to walk herself. The forest is way too dense for us to carry her, so we just assist her about 30 feet away from the stairs because it doesn't feel right just hanging out right next to them. We have to wait there for like 30 minutes, and part of me is very curious to see if the stairs do anything, disappear, or transform in any way. We don't start questioning Kristen immediately because we just want her to focus on hydrating and getting better. We all just focus on being as gentle and consoling as we possibly can. I could tell we all don't want her to see how shaken up we are because we just want her to feel safe. Once she seems calm and content enough, we all kind of huddle up to start our game plan. Our phones are working now, and even though the data is kind of spotty, we could see that we're only about a mile away from camp. Once I let them know that we're only about a mile away, I could see it in their face that we had the same exact experience, because they're as surprised as I am, because it felt like whatever the mimic did to us went on for hours. But before we could start talking and get into detail about any of our experiences, Kristen speaks up. Of course, she's asking to see if Nick is safe and okay. At this point, she's standing up and seems okay to start walking. So we all walk over to her and ensure that Nick is safe with his father. We calmly explain to her that we didn't feel safe having Nick at the campsite while we were still looking for her, just in case he tried to run off and look for her himself. She had a little bit of a shame in her face, but she nodded and accepted that as a pretty reasonable explanation. The ranger gently asks her if she's okay to start walking back to camp, and she nods obediently. So we gather all of our stuff and start walking for about 20 feet before the most putrid, heinous, sour, rotten smell hits my nose. It's like I took a whiff of the strongest smelling salt with how it shocked my system. I know that we all smell it at once based on everybody's body language. I immediately whip my head around to see if the source of it is the stairs. And of course, the stairs are nowhere to be found. And the ranger looks at us and quietly but sternly says, "We need to leave right now." And the ranger looks at us and quietly but sternly says, "We need to leave right now." We all feel guilty rushing Kristen after all she's been through, but it's clear that the ranger feels like we need to leave the area with a sense of urgency. So we really start picking up the pace and moving, but it feels like the smell is following us. It smells like a mix of sour sewage, rotten meat, and sulfur. After 5 straight minutes of it not losing any intensity, I ask, "What is that smell?" Sam replies quietly because I don't think he wants Kristen to hear, and he says it's a carcass. He says it with a certainty that I know it's from experience from his days as an army ranger. I whisper back, "What, are there carcasses everywhere? Because I don't see one." The ranger cuts me off and says, "It's following us." But he says it in a way that Kristen wouldn't be able to tell what he actually meant. But me and Sam knew what he was implying. And the look on his face was also implying that we should be quiet. He finished our whispering conversation by saying, "If you see antlers, keep your head down and keep walking." I know I can't reply verbally, but internally I cynically joke, "Great, I don't just have to worry about magical stairs and a faceless mimic. Now I have to worry about a territorial stinky elk." With all the wild stuff going on, I momentarily forgot that the most dangerous thing here is still Mother Nature. And the last thing that we need is to be rushed by a 600-pound elk. We get through most of the hike back with 0 complications. We could start to see the edge of the campsite through the trees. We're only about 100 yards away from the finish line when we hear an elk scream coming from behind us. If you've never heard an elk scream, it's horrifying and borderline human-like. I encourage you to look it up on YouTube. We start to pick up the speed a little bit until we're about 20 feet away from the campsite. The elk starts to let out a second scream, but the tone changes a little bit, a half second into the scream. And it sounds like a young boy screaming "Mom." Kristen panically whips her head towards the ranger and says, "That was Nick. I thought you said my son was safe." Kristen panically whips her head towards the ranger and says, "That was Nick. I thought you said my son was safe." The ranger grabs her by both shoulders, not in an aggressive way, but in a comforting way. In a way that what he's about to say to her, she needs to listen. "I promise that was not your son. Right now, we just need to get you to the lodge, and the second we get there, we'll call him, I promise." "Okay." And then to break the tension a little bit, he says with a smile, "I just found you. Please don't go running off in the woods again." This comforted Kristen enough to get her through the tree line. When we got out of the woods, it felt like I could finally breathe again. We were only in there for about 3 hours, but with everything that happened, I couldn't believe that it was just past noon. The campsite was still empty, but we needed to get Kristen onto the vehicle and headed to the lodge before anybody came back, because it would raise a lot of questions with the other campers. Why is she still here? It was common knowledge that she was supposed to get shipped off in the morning. We could tell she's peeking towards the campsite looking for her belongings, but the ranger gets ahead of it and says, "Don't worry, your stuff left with Nick. It was the easiest way for us, so now let's get you home." In my head, I'm considering asking her what she remembers, but during the 2-minute walk to the vehicle, I can tell that she's fully under the impression that she had a couple too many and got herself lost. I can see the embarrassment building on her face, but for our current situation, that's kind of ideal because we just need to get her out of here. She climbs into the vehicle, but before they drive off, the park ranger walkie-talkies the camp guides. He alerts them to bring the campers back to the campsite because there's aggressive elk in the area, and he doesn't want them walking back after dark where they can't see one coming. And on the other end, the camp guide replies, "Don't worry, we're already on our way back to camp because there was an aggressive cold front and nobody was dressed for it." I don't know what it was about what the camp guide said, but it puts a sense of urgency into the ranger, and he starts walking away but shouts to us before he gets into the vehicle. Boys, I'll get back as soon as I can. Stay away from the tree line, and if you smell it, hide. Stay away from the tree line, and if you smell it, hide. Me and Sam nervously nod and then watch them drive off. It's only noon and I'm absolutely exhausted. I catch myself just thinking about the devious look on the mimic's face before it disappeared, and it reminds me to check on my friend. This is the first time me and Sam have had a minute to talk since everything happened. So I just open up the conversation with, should we leave? And Sam just goes, we can't. If it was just you that touched the stairs, I'd say let's go. But I can't leave knowing that I might have just made it worse because I couldn't keep that thing out of my head. I'm not surprised at that answer whatsoever. I knew that we were staying before I even asked the question, because now he feels exactly the way I feel, responsible for all of this. I try to comfort him a little bit and I just say, don't worry, man, she got me too with whatever time loop trance that was. Sam looks at me funny and says, time loop? Mine wasn't like that at all. Mine felt like sleep paralysis. I saw everything happening. I saw you losing it, stumbling. I saw the ranger voluntarily switch with her, and I was trying to scream, but nothing was coming out. And then she started talking to me, but not out loud. She was in my head, bro. She just kept telling me that it was my turn to go up the stairs, and that we should really stop fighting it, and that there was nothing that we could do. And she just kept asking me, do I know what the crows mean? And then I cut in and asked him, did she tell you what they meant? Because I haven't been able to stop thinking about them. And Sam just goes, no, she was just taunting me with the question, but she did say that we'll know what they mean when we get back to camp. And that was basically our cue to start walking back to camp because we're both looking for answers. I keep the dialogue going and I ask him, if our experiences were so different, what do you think happened to the ranger? He jokingly replies, I'm sure it was something unique and horrible, but I'm much more interested to see what he knows about the source of that smell. We walk quietly for a second, headed straight towards the logs to sit down. We could see from a distance that the crows are still perched exactly where they were, and we just sit on the log straight across from them. It's funny because we were so tired, we didn't even have enough energy to be scared of the crows. We're just sitting having a standoff with these things. They're staring at us and we're staring at them, and then the one all the way to the left just squawks and flies away. We just look at each other and nod. It turns out the mimic was right. We knew exactly what they meant. It turns out the mimic was right. We knew exactly what they meant. Sam just casually says, 1 down, 2 to go. And then he follows up and kind of shamefully asks me, did I do what you did? He was implying, did he have a seizure as well? And I said, no, it just seemed like you were trying to rush to the top, but I stopped you before you could get there. He says, did you feel the vibrations? And I say, yeah. It felt like each step that you took up the stairs let off a pulse, almost like 2 gongs. Sam's eyes light up and he says that happened when you stepped on it too, but only 1. He asked me, do you think there's a correlation between how many steps you go up and the severity of the consequences? I just say I really hope not. And right then we hear laughing and talking approaching us. It's the group of campers coming back from fishing. Luckily, the chatter sounds very upbeat. So that gives us a little bit of relief because we know nothing bad happened to them while they were out there. Me and Sam do our best to shake off all of our stress so we don't alarm anybody coming up to us. We're just having small talk with everybody while everybody's unloading all of their gear before everybody gets together for lunch. Once everybody's settled in, one of the camp guides starts going around and he's doing a head count. And he shouts, we're 1 short. Everybody look around. Who's missing? Everybody looks around to their immediate family and friends, and then 2 guys speak up playfully. They're both early 30s, like real outdoorsman types. And they say, don't worry guys, that's just our buddy Pete. He was too good to go on the pontoon because he's a fly fisher. So he's fishing right off the shore. We'll go grab him in a minute. Everybody else seems pretty happy with this answer, but me and Sam don't like the idea of somebody by themselves with everything that just happened. The camp guide says go grab him and asks if anybody else wants to go with him. There's a couple elk in the area, and the bigger the group, the more likely the elk is to mind his own business. Sam puts his game face on, and with a big smile he says, we'll go with him. We've been stuck at the campsite all day. We could use a walk. The camp guide seems okay with that idea and just says, hurry up. The food's gonna be ready in 20. It feels so weird to me that Sam and I have to act and pretend like everything's okay. And part of me is kind of envious of the other campers, their ignorance of the situation. This was supposed to be a fun trip, but now it just feels like an undercover horror story. We all stand up and start walking, and we're just introducing ourselves to each other. And these guys turn out to actually be really cool. It was pretty refreshing to have a normal conversation for a bit. The guys' names were Joe and Tom, and they explained to us that they're on a guy's trip, and that their buddy Pete is really into fly fishing. Joe is really into hiking and sightseeing, and Tom is really into hunting, and they absolutely live for trips like this. I start to get even more envious because they sound like they're having such a good time. But hanging with those guys for a bit and cracking jokes is exactly what I needed, because I almost started to feel okay before we made it to the lake. As we were closing in on it, the ground started to have a frozen crunch to it, and I got blasted in the face with what felt like a gust of winter wind. It was only mid-October, and this type of cold felt like deep winter. It felt so unnatural for this time of year. The edge of the lake has a 1/4-inch layer of ice on the top, and it extended about 15 feet into the water. I didn't like that one bit, and Sam's eyes looked as concerned as mine. Joe and Tom are just cracking jokes saying that Canada could keep this weather, and that Pete should have brought his ice fishing gear. They explain that Pete is probably just around this bend of trees about 100 yards to the left of us. Sam asks them, when did this cold front hit? And they just casually say about an hour and a half ago. In my head, I know that lines up just about perfectly from when Sam ran up those stairs. I started to have a horrible feeling about this, but I don't want to scare these guys and ruin the time that they're having. So I just stay quiet until we get around the bend of trees. I'm just looking at the ground while we're walking because I'm scared to see what's around this bend of trees. And I hear Joe shout, "Hey Pete, it's time to head back." He said it in a really upbeat tone, and that gave me the heart to look up. I see Pete standing about ankle deep in the water, as fly fishers usually do. But he's not facing the lake, he's facing the trees. And the water is frozen around his feet. But he doesn't look like he's in distress. He almost looks elated. He's got a big smile on his face, and he's just scanning the tree line, but he's not fishing, and his eyes are darting around a little bit too much. I instinctually just grab Sam's arm, and then Tom shouts, "Come on bro, you can't fish in that." Pete swings his head towards us, finally realizing that we were walking up, and then he just announces in like a euphoric manner, "I never want to leave. We love it here. I never want to leave. We love it here." I'm super confused, and I don't know if I'm jumping to bad conclusions because of what happened earlier. I can't tell if Pete is trolling us and if this is an inside joke between him and his friends. So I just stand by to see how Joe and Tom react. And then Joe shouts from the end of the shore, like, "Hey buddy, you good?" And Pete is just scanning the trees again and just repeats himself, "I never want to leave. We love it out here." Sam butts in and says, "Hey guys, I think the cold front hit him hard and he's a bit delirious. We gotta get him out of there." He said it firmly, but not in a way that would strike panic into Joe and Tom. They start to walk in the water and the ice breaks. And Tom immediately says, "Oh guys, we gotta get him out of here. The water's freezing." Who knows how long his feet have been in there. They put one of his arms around each of their shoulders and they lift him out of the water. And then they high step back to the shore because the ice is cracking in each step. I'm even more confused because Pete doesn't seem uncomfortable at all. He seems so happy, but I look at his shoes and they just seem like regular hiking shoes. So I touch the water with my fingers and it's gotta be under 40 degrees. So there's no way he could have been standing in that this whole time. Sam says with a little more urgency, "We need to get him back and check him for frostbite right now." Tom and Joe seem a little bit more concerned and they're asking him if he's okay. And he just seems so happy. And he's just saying, "Of course I'm okay. I love it out here. It's so beautiful." His delight for this situation is damn near spiraling me into a panic attack. Because once I got a closer look at him, his eyes had a similar glaze to Sam's eyes when the mimic had him. Tom and Joe have him on each shoulder, and then me and Sam grab each of his legs so we could carry him back to camp efficiently without him doing any more damage to his feet. He doesn't seem to mind this at all, and he's just saying things like how beautiful things are out here and that we should have seen it. Once he said we should have seen it, me and Sam look at each other and I could tell that he's asking the same question that I am. What did he see? Then I start asking myself, if he saw the mimic, then our theory about the crows is absolutely wrong. We thought one flew away because we beat the mimic. The last question I ask myself before we get to the camp, if it isn't the mimic, what is it? As we get closer to the campsite, his voice starts to fade to more normal and a little bit more distressed. He starts complaining about his feet and asking his buddies what happened. You'd think that him acting like he isn't okay would make me more concerned, but it actually made me feel a little bit better because when I took a peek at his face, his eyes were normal and whatever state that he was in had faded. Everybody at the camp is looking at us and asking what happened, and his buddies speak up for him and say that he got stuck in some ice, but he's fine. They're trying to downplay it because they're not trying to embarrass their friend, and he's not in such bad shape that we have to be super concerned immediately, but we haven't checked his feet yet. We walk him over to the far end of the fire and then we sit him down on the log, and we all kind of huddle around his feet before we take his shoes off so nobody else could see. We untie them and slip his boots off, and I could start to see a deep red ring around his ankle. Tom starts to peel his left sock down slowly because we aren't sure about the damage under it, and luckily they are just beet red, and all he has is early stage frost nip. We all let out a sigh of relief at the same time, and we just tell him we got to keep your feet pretty close to the fire, and we just got to get you some dry socks and shoes. I was almost expecting bright blue feet. I didn't like the way he looked when we found him, but him being physically okay gave me and Sam enough relief to enjoy lunch with our new friends. We spend the next few hours chatting with
Yo, please, if you ever got a friend with frostbite or like even slight damage, do not stick him in the fire. Do not do that. Warm him up with body temperature. Get naked together. I know it sounds weird. Yeah, stick his feet in your armpits. Whatever it is, don't stick it near fire.
These guys and hearing all of their stories of past trips that they've taken together. Me and Sam really like the outdoors, but these guys were real outdoorsmen. I was actually having a good time for the first time since I touched the stairs. The sun starts to go down a bit and Tom announces that he has to go to sleep now because he has a trapping excursion in the morning. Me, Pete, Joe, and Sam start to give him a hard time a bit, but he didn't budge and he just heads to his tent. Pete seems to have fully come around and he's been acting completely normal for a couple hours at this point. We could tell his feet are bugging him a little bit, but he's doing his best to not be a hassle. We're in the the middle of chatting about the NFL playoff picture and who's looking good this season when I see Pete gaze off into the woods and start sniffing the air a little bit. Joe's rambling about how the Bears have a chance this season when Pete lets out this weird groan and he's saying, "Do you smell that? It smells so good." The way he said it really rubbed me the wrong way. And right then, that smell from the woods hit my nose. And then Pete announces, Joe, look at that beautiful moose." I see Joe look into the tree line right behind us, and then his eyes just go up as if he's looking at something 15 feet tall. And then his eyes just go up as if he's looking at something 15 feet tall. Pete's eyes look exactly like they did when we found him at the lake. Joe is sitting motionless staring, and I see
fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, dude. You know what? I tried to jump scare you. You can jump scare me all you want. God damn it. Really? 3D sounds to
eyes changing
now?
Too. I could hear something we found him at the lake. Joe is sitting motionless staring, and I see his eyes changing too. I could hear something behind me breaking twigs and bumping into branches. And whatever it is talking. It's whispering in an unnatural cadence. The voice sounded distorted and almost croaky. It's like it was multiple voices talking over each other in an eerie run-on sentence. It's like its words were layered like a symphony, so I couldn't make out what it was saying. Then Joe blurts out with the same disturbing optimism in his voice. "Well, isn't that thing lovely? Come on, boys, take a look." I was frozen just staring at Joe until Sam slaps and grabs my knee and says, "Head down." I immediately look at the ground beneath my feet. Everything in me is telling me to run, and I just hear the ranger's voice in my head. "If you smell it, hide." I whisper to Sam, "Bro, we need to hide." He whispers back, "It's already here. Remember, if you see antlers, head down." For the first minute, I feel like at any second this thing is gonna charge us from behind. But the worst part about all of it is how Pete and Joe are acting. They just keep announcing things like, "It's so beautiful, you guys have to see it. Just turn around, fellas, you guys are gonna miss it. It's right there. All that beauty's right behind you. It's so gorgeous." And then the one that really threw me off, Pete goes, "Come on guys, it just really wants you to look." This went on for over 10 minutes. Me and Sam are just squeezed together on the log with our head between our knees like a tornado drill at school. And these two guys are just trying to coerce us into turning around. And they're not even acknowledging that we're basically in the fetal position with our arms covering our heads. We were hanging out with them for hours before this. And these
Dude, I'm sorry, man. If I'm sitting across from somebody and they just like, "Whoa, that thing behind you," I'm fucking done. I'm running. No, I'm shitting myself and running, dude. Maybe running and shitting myself. Whatever order, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing both of those items on top activities. What's your favorite activity? Shitting myself and running.
These two guys are both extremely socially intelligent. We were having nuanced conversations, and they were picking up on subtle sarcasm and facial expressions. But now they're just completely out of touch. Delirious and aggressively optimistic. These guys are completely in their own world. We're almost 15 minutes in, and they both go completely quiet. I could see Joe's feet walking over to me, and then I feel a firm grip on my left wrist. I could see Joe's feet walking over to me, and then I feel a firm grip on my left wrist. I'm ready to blast double this guy and bury my forehead into his chest so he can't pry my eyes open to look at whatever is behind us. But he just gives my wrist a light shake, lets go of it, and calmly says, "It's time for bed, guys," in a completely regular, groggy voice as he walks away towards the tents.
Fuck off! No! Fuck. He's gonna shit on me every time! I hope to God it plays the same audio track on your guys' side, so not just me getting my shit scared out of me. 3D knock.
"It's time for bed, guys," in a completely regular, groggy voice as he walks away towards the tents. I peek up towards him, I see Pete limping towards the tents too. I don't hear the voice anymore behind.
Next time I'm playing a horror game, I'm making sure to turn that off. I'm making sure I gotta turn that off because goddamn.
But I can't tell if the smell is gone or if it's just burnt into my senses. Sam grabs me by the tricep and picks me up and says, "Head down towards the tent." I want to run towards the tent, but I don't want to catch up to Joe and Pete. So we just slowly walk behind them until they're at their tents. And he just calls back to us and says, "Night, fellas," as if what just happened didn't happen. Once their tents are zipped up, we beeline towards our tent. We get into our tent and I don't even know what to say. I see how exhausted Sam is and I feel how he looks. This has been absolutely the longest day of my life. Mind you, we were up at sunrise dropping Nick off to his father. We spent the afternoon searching for and saving Kristen, and the early evening carrying Pete to the tent and tending to his feet. And the second things feel like they might be getting better, we get ambushed by our new friends and their obsession with this moose. Me and Sam don't even have the energy to talk over what just happened, and I fall asleep within moments of lying down. I wake up to the sound of a vehicle being driven up to camp. I was having a surprisingly pleasant dream, but once the dream state faded, my mind flooded with all of the events of yesterday, and all the peace that I was feeling while I was dreaming was completely overshadowed by waking up back into this nightmarish reality. It hits me that this vehicle must be the Ranger returning back to camp. So I just jump to my knees and shake Sam awake, and I say the Ranger's back as I get ready to go find him. We hustle over to him as he's getting out of his vehicle, and I could see that he can tell that something's wrong. I realize that as I'm walking up to him, I'm very upset with him, and I guess Sam was too, because Sam just barks, "Where have you been?" And before he even gets the chance to answer, I follow up. I say, "You didn't tell us it was gonna follow us to the campsite." He puts both of his hands out, gesturing us to calm down, and he says, "I'm sorry, I'm ready to tell you everything I know."
Welcome to Empty Talk.
Bro, you
Bro,
can't.
have you ever had somebody cry at you?
Bro, that's the ending? No! Wait, that's not the ending. There's two.
And he says, "I'm sorry, I'm ready to tell you everything I know."
Let's go!
Me and Sam both like the idea of getting brought up to speed, so we give him the chance to explain himself. First off, Kristen is home safe. Secondly, I couldn't come back right away because I had to prep the lodge to house all of these campers to bring them there tomorrow. I got in contact with some of the other Rangers, and I filled them in about what happened to us yesterday. And the second that I brought up the smell, they all urged me to evacuate. But I couldn't evacuate people to a place that isn't ready to house them, and I couldn't just tell them to leave without causing a major issue. Nobody will believe the reason, and all it's gonna do is cost these camp guides their livelihood. Sam butts in right away and says, "What about costing these people their lives?" The Ranger puts his hands up again, gesturing, "Hold on, I'm getting there, just keep listening." Listen, we go years without incidents like this, and we could get through one more night at the lodge without anybody panicking or getting hurt. And I chime in, "What about getting through today? Because that thing got to Pete in broad daylight yesterday." The Ranger is clearly taken off guard by this, and he goes, "What do you mean it got to Pete?" We proceed to fill him in with how we found Pete by the lake acting absolutely bizarre, staring into the tree line in the middle of the day. He doesn't seem to have an answer for this, and Sam piles on and says, "I thought you were going to tell us everything, so why don't you go ahead and start by telling us what that thing is?" The Ranger takes a deep breath as if he's getting ready to give us an extremely long-winded answer. And he starts by saying, "The Rangers call it antlers because apparently you're not supposed to say its real name in the woods." I've already had enough of this answer, so I cut him off and I say, "What is this thing, Voldemort? Stop sugarcoating it." The Ranger looks kind of ticked off by how I'm talking to him, but he could tell that we're sick of him dancing around the details. The Ranger goes, "Okay," and points over to the camp guides and says, "Do you see them? Do you want to know the difference between me and them? The only difference is that I saw something that I wasn't supposed to. I signed up for this job because I love these parks, and I wanted to share my love for nature with anybody that was curious. But when you spend enough time out here, you start to notice things that don't make sense. You start to see stairs that shouldn't be there. You start to see swings that swing by themselves, and doors that lead to nowhere. And then you start asking questions. And then once you start asking too many questions to the only authority figures above you," as he points to his Ranger badge, "you get taken into a private meeting with all the other Rangers. And then you take an oath to protect people from any harm that is hidden in these woods. You get sworn to secrecy for all the information that they're about to tell you. But you realize almost immediately that all of the information in this room comes from word of mouth and stories from other Rangers' experiences. So I only know what I've been told or what I've seen for myself. There's some things like the stairs that are common and have similar patterns to other Rangers' stories. But most of the stuff that happens out here is incredibly random and makes little to no sense." I don't know what me and Sam were expecting. Part of me wanted him to have like some little notebook that had a list of every entity and their weaknesses. But this guy's almost venting to us about his frustration about knowing so little. So Sam speaks up and says, "So basically you're telling us that you know as much as we do." He shakes his head and says, "No, absolutely not. I have an encyclopedia of stories from other Rangers in my head. And there's some things that we have a good grasp on how to handle. But as far as what's happening in these parks as a whole, all of the Rangers have completely different theories." I still feel like he's dancing around our question, so I just bluntly say, "So then what are the theories?" I could still see frustration on his face, and I could tell that he kind of doesn't want to be shamed for his theory. And he starts getting slightly defensive. He says, "Listen, I don't believe in Sasquatch or the Mothman, or that heebie-jeebie Native American folklore. Some of the other Rangers buy into that, but I think these things are legitimately demons. And I think these demons have certain rules that they need to abide by. And I think that when you interact with these obscure traps that they set in these forests," and then he gestures to me, insinuating that me touching these stairs was me falling for a trap, "they almost get permission in some weird way to cross over into our plane." And then Sam asks the obvious question, "Okay, then what did I let loose, and what did I give it permission to do?" Okay, then what did I let loose, and what did I give it permission to do? The Ranger replies, "Like I said, I only know what I've been told or what I've seen." And the smell reminded me of a story that a Ranger from the Appalachians told me. He was guiding a hunt with 6 men out in Virginia. He usually only takes people a couple miles in, and they have no problem finding a target. The first 5 guys got their bucks in the first 2 days, but the last guy in the group said he just saw a big buck right over a ridge, and basically begged me to help him track it. He said it was absolutely beautiful and trophy worthy. So I took everybody a couple miles further into the mountains, because because he seemed so excited about it. But every time we got close, he kept saying it was just a little bit further. And I couldn't seem to find it in my binoculars, but he seemed so sure. We started to get into parts of the Appalachians that I wasn't super familiar with, and I wasn't comfortable taking these guys any deeper into the mountains. And then the guy said, but I see it right there. So I said, if you see it, then take the shot. And the guy paused for a second, then said, but I don't want to shoot it. I want to go with it. So right then I called off the hike and I made everybody set up camp for the night because he was putting everybody in harm's way. And we were so far out that we were going to have to spend the entire next day just hiking back. But that night we were hearing sounds from the woods that I had never heard before. And I made everybody stay in their tents. But the guy that took us on this wild goose chase refused. And he was just lingering, wandering around our camp, talking about how it was right there and that we should all come see it. I knew something was off with his behavior, but the smell that overtook the camp that night was something that I will never forget. And when we woke up the next morning, I found the guy sitting in front of our food storage. He was gluttonously devouring every last piece of food we had. He got through all of the energy bars and dry food, and then he even got through the raw meat that we brought to cook. It was like he had horrible tapeworms and an insatiable hunger. Once I saw the way he was acting, I immediately called off the hunt, and I had to stop the other guys from assaulting him because he just single-handedly put us in a survival situation. And the only thing that calmed them down was when I said we need to head back now because we don't have enough food for 2 days. He refused to come. He put me in a position that I had absolutely no choice but to leave him there. Otherwise, there was no way we were all making it back because everybody would have starved. And this guy just seemed so happy to stay. So ever since then, the rule on my hunts is that if you ever smell sulfur and see antlers, you leave the area immediately. Me and Sam didn't want to cut the ranger off. We wanted to let him finish his story before we let him know that Pete and Joe were acting eerily similar to the man from that story, minus eating the raw meat. And then we proceed to explain the incident with the moose from the night before. The ranger has extreme guilt on his face at this point, and I could tell that he was not expecting things to go so south so quickly. And then I see some recognition in his face, and he asks, didn't they come with a third guy? And then we explained to him that Tom went to sleep before it happened and that he left early to go trapping. Now there's panic on the ranger's face, and he says, we need to go find Tom. Now there's panic on the ranger's face.
Oh,
and he
what?
says,
There was another? Sheesh. How many more? This is the last one. All right, this is actually the last one.
Find Tom. The ranger starts to storm off, but Sam puts his hand on the ranger's chest and says, how about instead of running off into the woods again, you start by telling me the rules this thing lives by so I can do what I need to do to keep these innocent people safe, because clearly your only priority is to keep us in the dark and keep the money flowing into the camp. I was not expecting Sam to talk to the ranger like that, and frankly I don't think the ranger was either, because he doesn't say anything. And then Sam continues to pile on. You aren't going anywhere until I see you make sure that every—
Stop it. Yesy.
Anything. And then Sam continues to pile on. You aren't going anywhere until I see you make sure that everyone in this campsite is accounted for and set up for a safe hike back to the lodge. And then the ranger just starts frantically rambling about how he can't cause panic amongst the campers and that he's just trying to do his best, but he can't tell everybody everything. And Sam cuts him off again, and he says, you are going to go tell the camp guides to let everybody know that there's been too many elk sightings in the area and it's not safe for kids, and that everybody is packing up and heading out as soon as possible. And then you're going to tell them that elk don't respond well to eye contact, so if they see antlers or smell sulfur, to keep their head down and keep moving. Do you understand me? I'm fully on board for that plan, but I'm not sure how the ranger's going to take these clear orders from Sam. But to my surprise, he just swiftly nods okay. Then Sam says, now, what are the rules this thing abides by? And don't even think about telling me another story. The ranger seems to be surrendering and takes a deep breath and says, well, I don't think this one's like the mimic. I don't think its priority is to get out of the park. I think this one's goal is to lure as many people as deep into the park as it possibly can. But I don't know where it's leading people or what it's capable of once it gets people there. But from what I've heard, it's capable of unspeakable things. Sam sternly says, thank you. Get everybody to start packing. Me and Doug are going to patrol the tree line to make sure everybody stays in the middle of camp. And we all just nod and disperse. I'm so happy that Sam just took control of this situation, because this is the first time it feels like we have a real plan, instead of being stuck in a reactionary loop. Sam cuts off my train of thought and starts giving me orders. No kids by the tree line, and we know where Joe and Pete are at all times. Understood? After about 5 minutes of patrolling and thinking over the events of the past few days, I ask Sam something that's really been bugging me. Bro, how do you think the mimic knew our safe word? He swings his head towards me and says, what do you mean it knew our safe word? And then I remind him that it said it right before he sprinted towards the stairs. He looks absolutely furious and says, why didn't you tell me that earlier? I immediately get defensive and say, you said you saw everything happen. I thought you heard that too. His anger turns to concern and he starts rifling through his backpack. He pulls out a notepad and starts rigorously writing. He rips out the page and hands it to me. The paper said, I'm sorry I did not remember that. From now on, we don't speak about strategy, we only write it. And then in all caps at the bottom it says, the trees are listening.
What? Yo, this kid's good ass storyteller though. I gotta admit, they cut it really well, and this shit's got me still. I wanna know what the crows mean. This is good. Like, this is genuinely clean. You could make some nice ass Black Mirror episode or Netflix series off a story like this. Like, god damn. Also, Yessie, take the L. Take a fat L. I don't know if you noticed, but ain't no way. Like I said before, burn the forest, dude. Burn the whole place. Burn that campsite. Hell no. And the worst part is that I was like up at night watching this, and all I've been thinking about is, fuck, I've done this. I've seen goddamn stairs and forests. There are multiple here. Like here, nearby that they're still in the forest you can just go and chill at. There are reasons behind half of them though, so it's not like they're too scary. But god damn it, making a horror story out of something that's like not that far off, just for myself personally. You guys seem crooked. Y'all good? Swear to God, yes, I'll make it $100 to drop that sticker. I will make it $100 if you scare me one more time with that. The max on a sticker is 10,000 bits. I don't care. I'll do it. I don't even care, dude. Don't even come at me. I'll still use better. No, that is even more of a problem. What is if you do it? I feel even worse. I feel even worse. Holy shit, though. Anyways, not really what I was planning on, but hey, yo, I hope y'all enjoyed. Some of y'all were memeing a little bit during it, but me, that story's got me. That was creepy as hell, dude. And I hate that it never ends. It always just ends with another cliffhanger. Oh, you've got more sound effects. Wonderful. The pink art one's cute. I like that one. Bring, 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 bring. That's good. It's real good. Oh my god. The three crows, the three entities, I thought it was like the three of them. And then like the park ranger left and then one crow left. You know, that's where I was going with it. Three different entities, you thinking? So they got rid of the girl. And now they got Pete's little problem with the smelly moose. And what next? What next, huh? Fuck, it be anything, dude. That shit's terrifying. It's so well thought out, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. God damn, it was good. Fuck me, that sound just scared the shit out of me. Holy. Why did that scare me more than any of the sound effects yet? It was just so much louder than the rest. Holy shit, that was loud. Thanks for the 5 bits. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my Jesus. Yeah, that does make sense. But it was also like the park ranger leaves, and then they sit down next to the crows, and then one of the crows leaves, and I was like,
Today I 3D printed.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Today you 3D printed something. Oh. Yeah, well put. I would turn that into a whole series. I would love to film like a horror movie and turn that. Oh, dude. Make a YouTube series just based off the horror like that, though. It's been 2 hours. Yeah, it was like an hour long of just that. I know. I know. What? Yeah. Oh. The Conjuring. No, I don't remember what movie it was, but it was like the um. I'm gonna find it. Insidious. I think it was Insidious. Like the woman's running around the house in the background. God, I fucking love when they do those shots where it's like there's a pillar and we're watching two people talk. Maybe there's two pillars, and as we're watching them talk, the camera's panning across and there's nothing behind them, and then you pass by the pillar, now there's a lady rocking in the chair, and then they pass the pillar again, nobody's rocking in the chair again. And they're still having their conversation, and it's just happening behind them. And that shit gives me the chills every time. And thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, fuck, I hate that shit, dude. There is a movie though called The Mimic, and it's based in a forest too. So I'm wondering. Of course, a lot of horror movies happen in forests because then you can be like, oh, no cell reception, phones don't work. You gotta always get around a phone, right? That's like the number one thing you gotta do is get around phones. So either you date it back in time, Stranger Things, or you put them in a location where they're all wet, their phone's been destroyed, or they're in a cabin in the middle of the woods and their phones just don't work. Which unfortunately doesn't work because even if your phone shows no service, you can still call 911. Just so you know. There you go. Definitely know that there are satellites dedicated to 911. And it'll just show that you're in no service anyways. Are you a lucid dream? Because when I see you in real life, I still think I'm dreaming. Oh my god, we're back to the Rizzes. Oh shit. Damn, dude. I'm hoping I don't have any dreams about that story because I've watched that now twice. And for people that don't know, I have very lucid dreams. It's really not fun. Have you guys seen the movie Nope? That one was by Jordan Peele. Again, Key and Peele again. Run it back. You are so fucking sweet. Holy shit, you gotta stop. God damn. Yeah, the movie Nope. Watched that one, not recently, kind of after it came out, though. I didn't see it right away. It's absolutely bloody terrifying. I mean, not like terrifying, but like, what the fuck? I think about it from time to time and like, holy shit, that was really a moment. It's such good writing. I'm looking at photos of it right now, but it spoils everything, so I'm not gonna. Won't put it in there. Just like holy shit. Everything's creepy that I'm looking at. Oh man. So anyway, speaking of creepy though, I got Dying Light again. So we'll have to. I want to do a quick playthrough, see if we can make it through like in a short period of time, like a 3 stream to 4 stream, which sounds ridiculous because I'm pretty sure these. What is let me. I don't know which one the page is gonna pull up though. How long? How long is Dying Light? It's about 17 and a half hours. If you're a gamer that strives to see all aspects of the game, you're likely to spend 57 and a half hours obtaining the 100% completion. But if you want to just get through the story, it's 17 and a half hours. Holy shit. Okay. How long is Dying Light 2? 24 hours long. That's pretty damn good, actually. You know what? For a purchase, I mean, obviously, I bought it with every DLC, and I did all of this for $11, a $300 game setup, like bundle and everything. Which I think, if I'm not mistaken, can I just go to the store page? I can. Dying Light, there you go. See, well, 56. Originally, the 56 is the markdown from what should be a $295. So then you're actually supposed to be like saving obviously like what $240 off this, but you save almost $300. It's worth like nothing. It's almost a $40 game. And I think if you're gonna spend $40 on a game, you better get like 17 hours, maybe 15 hours minimum of time out of a gameplay. This shit ass game is garbage trash game that you can buy a supporters edition that doubles the price and doesn't give you anything better. You spend $46 before taxes on this, again, doo-doo game. And I know the reviews are hella high. I returned mine in the hour. It's because the game looks good. It is one of the most beautiful games you'll ever see. And it's like real-time simulation style of breaking and entering and handcuffing, removing hostiles, that kind of stuff. But there's nothing about this game to work towards. You start in it, you have every gun unlocked, every map unlocked, every piece of gear unlocked, every attachment, every customization in ways of looks, everything. All of it unlocked. He's playing CSGO. Hold up. Wait, he's playing CSGO. They totally made... Wait, I'm going to get to where that was less blurred. Is it less blurred earlier on? No. That is... This is clearly not CSGO. But that right there, that kill feed is the CSGO kill feed. That's hilarious. Okay, maybe this is the best game ever. Oh, Discord. Okay, back to what I was saying. God damn it. No, just kidding. But yeah, everything in a game being completely unlocked and there being no XP, no level up system, literally nothing to work towards in a game. You just buy it and you're already done. You've already completed it. It was so disappointing. And it was like really, really challenging to the point where there's no tutorial to tell you what buttons do what. You just have to jump in and hope that you just click everything and try everything out. It was really disappointing. I was so disappointed in this game. Like, if I'm going to pay $46 for a game, I think it was like $52 in the end, I at least want to get a tutorial on what the game is that you built for me, or that I'm paying for. I don't know. I feel like you could finish that game in less than 10 hours because you hit all 6 maps and you're like, well, I'm done. Okay. Yeah, it took me like an hour or 2 on one of the maps because I had to redo it so many times. But we redid a couple maps because we failed it. And then I was like, dude, I don't even care for this map to like feel like I got to complete it. And then we would complete one and it would just be like, you got a B+. I was like, that's it? That's all I got? And it closes back to the main menu. It's like, okay, which map do you want to try now? And I was like, bro, what? This game's so lame. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. It's just so lame, dude. So I'm just saying, if you're going to spend that much money, it's nice to see that's like 17 and a half hours. However, off of my tangent, Dying Light, though, even better reviews. And, 17 and a half hours is quite a few streams. If we do some long streams, we're doing our spooky season streams, we might be able to get into Dying Light 2, which I believe Dying Light 2 has also got huge reviews. Luca said he texted me. Oh, fuck. You streaming tonight? Oh, no! I'm live right now. Yeah, Luca and I are going to, because he's just started his own Twitch streaming. If you guys haven't already, go show Luca some love. He is not live right now, but he's got his own Twitch. It's just mostly Luca, classic like everywhere else, and we're going to stream together. Hopefully pretty soon we're going to start streaming together because, I told him if we're going to stream together, he's got to get on some better games because Fall Guys is just not it, chief. So we're going to find some games to work together. We got to get games that are kind of cross-platform to the point where he can use a controller. So he is live right now. No. Oh, he is. Is he? Yeah, but he's playing Among Us, dude. Amoogaloose.
Yeah, so I'm expecting all you guys to play Among Us with me. Any of you guys on a phone or whatever, we can all fucking play together. And
no. That's you. Chat. That's you. I feel like I should just jump in and try and maybe I should try and break into his game. Maybe I should break into his game. I'll name myself Almost Luca. So there's mostly Luca and then almost Luca, and then I will and then I'll just stream snipe him everywhere I can go, you know? hold on. I can put my camera back down. Bro.
So, Jarvis did what? Why are you twerking? He answered. Let me see in a second. Royal.
Yeah. No, I'm just very down to stream with Luca. I think it's gonna be some like literally so many vibes when we do it. But I want to play some like legit games. That's what I like doing. A little more something. No offense to everybody that wanted me to play like Roblox, and thank God it didn't work today. But you know, yeah, yes, do it. Stream snipe him right now. 2.5 hours in. So what a random live horror shit. Stream snipes. Trolling friends. Lay's being way too sleep right now. Oh, hello. Damn, just scared me. Dude, every sound, man. It's all because of you, Yessie. Potato and meatballs. Oh, man.
Not just meatballs, but
hot.
meaty meatballs.
Wow, those are really good.
Pass me that other stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Potatoes are really hot.
Oh, God. Damn it.
You
Yeah.
stabbed my foot.
Well.
That's one simple. Enjoy.
Thank you. Oh, God. Dude, I always feel so bad when they make me food. I feel so bad when I get food made for me because I feel like I didn't work for it. I'm really enjoying cooking food right now. Like, really enjoying cooking food right now. Oh, my dad's such a good cook. Oh my God, my dad's such a good cook. Holy shit. It's fantastic cooking. Once again. Holy smokes. Okay. Papa Dawkins. The big pull up. Okay, I am going to end the stream because it's been 2.5 hours. However, if you guys can help me out here, I'm going to try and raid. Did you raid someone's stream? How do you raid people's streams, chat? How to raid on Twitch. No pop party tonight. I've got so many hours, so I gotta go off and do something. I know there's like a slash command you could do. Type /raid and then the channel name. Oh, okay. All right. We can do that. You guys cool with that? I'll throw Luca some love, and then I'll catch you guys tomorrow for another stream. You guys cool with it? Handsome man is already leaving. Dude, the beautiful girl I have to let go. I'm so sorry. Yo, you guys are way too nice. Yo, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Unfortunately, you're joining right at the end of the stream, though. I will be live tomorrow. I'll be live around 4 p.m. PST. So that's LA time. That makes it easy for you guys. Yeah. That's all. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. But it makes you taller, though. So there you go. Man's got long knees. Yep. It's unfortunate you're one of those long kneed men. It's just not working. I'm so sorry. It's just not working. I've been doing Twitch for way too long, pal. Way too long. All right. Oops. My R key is broken as well. I need a new keyboard. Oh, someone please help me out. I've broken out two. I have two unusable keyboards. My G key on my working one, my G key doubles, and so does my R key. I don't get how it works. Don't let it follow you out. I hate you. Yeah, that's creepy. Why'd you say that? That scared the shit out of me just reading that. What the? All right. You guys have yourself a wonderful night. Until next time, have yourself a good one. Let's see you tomorrow. All right. You guys go enjoy. Go off. Have fun. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy Luca's stream. Show him some love. And absolutely belittle him in the chat, please. Bully him for me. You can say it's because of me so that he doesn't get mad at you. And then also just tell him to make sure that we stream together. Because, you know, this is what I do. I annoy all my friends until they do things. All right. Not wrong. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's stream. All right. Peace. No! Invalid user. Damn, my R key keeps doubling tapping. No. There we go. Cool. Cool. Y'all ready up on the raid? Yeah. All right, vibes. Have yourself a wonderful night. Peace. I'm not really sure what happens here on the YouTube stream though. Maybe we're still chilling. Who knows?
It's my first raid, yo. That is my first raid. I don't even know how the fuck that works. Yo, tell Reese if he has Among Us to get in Among Us, bro. If whoever's on Reese's stream, bro, tell Reese. We've got 4 spots for him to get on. We got 4 spaces left. To get on. I don't know who's getting in. And then it's go time. 1 new request. What the heck is that? This way? What does that mean? Oh, no, I ain't adding nobody. We're just gonna stay friendly.
All right, there we go. Cool. I'm happy.
You're brown.
Have yourself a wonderful night, guys.
All right.
I'll peace it out. All right, get out of here.